What is going on, everybody? We are live, odds coming to you. It's a UFC Contender fight night. It is September 1st, 2020, and we are hanging out to watch some fights, to make some money. Y'all know what's up. Welcome into the Odds Contender Series Hangout. We have got the new squad rolling this evening. We've got my boy Just Bleed MMA. What's going on, buddy? How you feeling?
I feel great, man. Can't wait to get it popping off on the Tuesday night. Let's get some money. Let's cash some tickets. Let's have some fun. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I'm right there with you, buddy. And as always, we've got a staple of the show, MMA Predictions Guru. My friend, how you doing this evening?
What's up, man? Yeah, another Tuesday. We're back again. So, hopefully we can make it 4 out of 5 on this one. So a lot of the lines kind of changed a lot, in the last couple of days or since they dropped the line. But yeah, hopefully we can make some money on this card.
Absolutely, and I think you and I agree more often than not this card. So hopefully we won't be going head to head this week. And new addition to the show, we got the man below me, Cody Saftic, joining the squad. What's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Man, every Tuesday I sit here and watch the fights and think to myself, man, I wish I had more friends, better friends that would want to watch the fights. Man, get some camaraderie going. Now I have just that. 3 awesome guys to watch with and hop in the group chat, get involved. If you got questions, let's talk about it and let's make this like a group feel. You guys are my friends for this one, so let's get it going.
Absolutely. We are all friends here, and that includes everybody in the chat. We got Charlie Chips, SDP, Matt Pafel, we got John Height, Rick Ramon, Inrad Zabby, and Andre. Sorry about that, buddy. DFS by the numbers hanging out with us in the chat this evening as well. Another member of the Odd Squad here. We've got A. Miller, Nadia, Patterson, Ryan. We've got Deer Slayer, Ski. What's up, everybody? You are all our friends, part of the show, coming to hang out with us. We thank you for spending your Tuesday night with us. We've got a hell of a night of action for Dana White's Contender Series this evening. This is a really good card, you guys. So, as you all know, we like to put some action down. We like to get some bets in. I've tweeted my action out. Let's go ahead and talk about the first fight on the card. I'm going to kick it to Guru to get us started here. Buddy, you seem to be the one who gets us all rolling on the Tuesday Night Contender Series. So why don't you lead us off here? Tell us a little bit about this first fight, if you got any action, and then we'll talk to our other panelists here.
Yeah, we got Tucker Lutz, Chase Gibson. So this is actually one of the fights that I did put in the parlay, and I was talking about the line changing. He's all the way at minus 500 now. I actually put him in a parlay at minus 205, so big difference now. Honestly, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't, put him in any plays, to be honest with you. I mean, minus 500, pretty ridiculous. But looking at the fight overall, I just don't really see that many redeeming things for Chase Gibson. I mean, he looks like he has a good straight right hand. He throws some decent kicks, but doesn't really look like he's good with the range. I mean, he'll throw kicks when he's like 2 feet away from the guy, get taken down real easy, naked kicks. He seems like off of his back, he knows what he's doing. He can defend himself, but doesn't really have good get-ups. And I have seen him hit some takedowns. He looks like he's decent on top, good riding and things like that. But I just don't – he's not that dangerous on top. I feel like Lutz – even from the footage I saw a couple years ago, because I couldn't find many recent fights of his, I thought he was just cleaner on the feet. I thought, he controlled the range better. He was a good wrestler, good top control. And, I've seen Gibson taken down a lot in fights, controlled on the ground. So I feel like Lutz will probably be able to get him out of there with ground and pound or at least win a decision here. Gibson, I mean, maybe he could get a knockout, but I think it's, not that likely. So
I like it, man. I like it. And I came to the same conclusion. I'm on Lutz as well. And everybody in the chat, just so you know, you want to keep an eye out on our breakdowns here on the panel a little earlier in the week. These lines move. They move hard. This is a small market, and you got to get in early if you want to catch those value spots. Just Bleed, buddy, do you have anything on this first fight? What do you think?
I do, man. I tell you what, I got to keep it real. I got Lutz early, right when it dropped, minus 185. Guy's minus 500 right now. In my mind, I can't think of a bet I've ever placed where I beat the line movement this bad. I mean, win, lose, or draw, you got to feel good getting your guy at that number compared to where he stands right now. Guru pretty much hit on all the points, Gibson, I mean, I feel like he's a guy who has, the skills to win some fights, but the one thing that stands out to me, man, when I watch tape is he just has no takedown defense. I mean, any takedown attempted on this guy, it's not even really like he's pulling guard or anything. He's just so apt to go down with in any attempt. So I just think that Lutz is the play here. I got him straight minus 185. If you could have got him in the parlay, congrats. I mean, if you get him at any point early beating that line movement, you've done a great job. You're doing some very high quality gambling, if you will. But I got Lutz in this first one. I think he should win it. I just think he's a better fighter overall, and I think he's going to get it done.
Okay. I agree. I am also on Lutz, and I do have him in a parlay with Johnson later on in the evening, so that's where I'm sitting. Cody, buddy, do you have any action on the first fight of the night?
Yeah, well, I'm not exactly going to be contrarian off this first one. I think we all agree. We got Lutz. Lutz at 500 seems like a crazy price tag, but because there's so much Lutz love coming in, a lot of people are just, that's their safe pick. That's their guy that they like. That's who they're hammering. And obviously the price has ballooned up a little bit. But this guy's a legitimate prospect. Still only 26 years old. He was 8-0 as an amateur. He started fighting amateur a month after his 18th birthday. Signs up, let me get at it, goes undefeated as an amateur. Outside of his losing his pro debut, which got finished late in the third round, he's been pretty stellar. The advantage I think he has in this fight is that he's the natural 155-pounder. When you look at Chase Gibson fights at 145 pounds. The weigh-in wasn't a great indicator of that. They relatively look the same size. Gibson swells out a little bit. Doesn't look like he's an undersized fighter by any stretch of the imagination. But as you guys all talked about, his takedown defense, not great. And even though Lutz can strike, his camp is mostly, he's got 3 BJJ black belts in camp with him. It's really a gym that just, they want to get these guys down. They want to control them on the ground. I think if he takes a safe path to victory, that's what he does. He takes them down. He controls them. Does he get that finish? Does he go inside the distance? More than likely. But I think the size is going to have a big factor in this because it's probably going to be more of a ground battle if he so chooses to. The other problem with Chase Gibson is it's really hard to get a read with this guy because he just fights absolute nobodies outside of his losses for sure. But his last 2 fights, 0-2 and 0-1. How does a guy who's now getting ready to fight for a UFC contract just won his last 2 fights, but did he win his last 2 fights? 0-1 opponent, 0-2 opponent. Most commissions wouldn't even sanction that fight. They wouldn't allow that to happen. In this case, he gets 2 build-up efforts. The loss before that, his Combate Americas lost 1 year ago to Horatio Gutierrez. Some guys, you guys might remember Gutierrez. He was a tough finalist. He lost to Enrique Barzola for a tough Latin America finale, and then got melted by Teruto Ishihara in his lone UFC appearance after that. That was kind of a step up in competition, so to speak. That's a guy that couldn't crack it in the UFC, but at least this is not an 0-1 and 0-2 opponent, and he doesn't even get out of 3 minutes with him. His other loss before that, Rafa Garcia, again, not a top-level talent, fight for Combate, can't get through that. It just doesn't seem like when he fights mid-level competition, he's not coming through. When he fights guys that are debuting, his other losses, by the way, Chris Chavez, 0-19. That's a real stat. 0-19. Who sanctions this? Okay. Jeff Martin, is that the biggest win he's got? 10-11. Hell of a win. 3 years ago, but 10-11. So to now sell me that he's going to be Tucker Lutz, who's 9-1, an 8-0 amateur, 26 years old, actually looks like he could hang in the UFC. It would have to be he slips on a banana peel and shatters his knee, he blows out his ACL, or that one punch is MMA boys. Anything can happen. Maybe that one punch lands. But come on, it would be a tough sell to straight out pick Gibson and have any type of faith in it.
He's what we like to call a can crusher. That's the kind of fighter we're dealing here. Yeah. Every single time he takes that step up against decent competition, he just gets smashed.
Absolutely. You know what? You never want to be disrespectful for a guy and say can crusher, but yeah. How do you break down a guy who's 0-19 with any other word than can? And you crushed him. Therefore, can't crush her, right? I mean, kind of plays to itself.
Absolutely. You were about to say something, Just Bleed.
Well, Cody brought up the Rafa Garcia fight, and I feel like that could be really telling. Like, Cody did a good job of, fighting his way up in the first 2 rounds. You kind of start to see him fade, though. That 3rd round, Rafa just held him down. I mean, it was just bad. Like, I'm not even sure if he knew the fight was kind of on the line. It was a fairly close fight, but that 3rd round, I just didn't see like the heart you want to see out of a guy in that type of scenario. And I feel like that fight could kind of lay out the game plan. And I feel like this fight tonight is probably going to play out fairly similar to that. I guess we'll see, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to actually add on top of that as well, that fight with Rafa was the last time he fought at 155 pounds. All of his other fights been at 145 after that. So it just shows you that at 55, he's going to get tired quicker because he's dealing with the bigger man. And if he ends up on his back, he's going to have trouble getting up.
And this is a short notice fight for him, too. It was supposed to be Victor Martinez fighting Lutz.
Which would have been a good fight, by the way.
Would that fight been at 155, or was that going to be 145, and now they've had to change the fight to 155?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I think Lutz is a 55er. I think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Cody's bringing up good points. This guy is a true 145er. Win or lose in this fight, I see him, if he ever does make it to the big show, he'd probably fight at featherweight. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it would be a little bit surprising to see him win this fight at 155. It's been a while fighting a true 155er. Is Lutz worth a -500? No way, man. This is Contender Series. But, hopefully you guys got on the inside, hit that earlier number like most of us did, and hopefully we roll and pick up a early win here tonight. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it, guys.
Yeah, let's get this thing off on the right foot, man. And speaking of the right foot, if you're here hanging out, smash the like button. Without you guys, we don't have a show. We need YouTube. We need everybody out there knowing that we're hanging out. We're having some fun. Make sure if you're not subscribed to Odds HQ, go ahead and hit that little button right now. Smash the like button. And if you're on Twitter, social media, whatever you're on, share the show. Get some people in here. We want some fun hanging out. Jason Derulo, buddy, thank you for hopping in with us. We got spot on picks. Jesus coming in here to hang out. Souza in, Tony, OXC, Gabriel Rosario. How is everybody doing? Thank you very much for spending time with us this evening. We're about to kick off this first fight, and you guys heard it. We're all on Lutz. We're all on the same side here, and let's see if this -500 favorite can get it done. Does anybody else have any other degenerate action running on the evening? Have you bet any baseball or basketball that the people can sweat with us? You want to throw that out there?
Man, I'm a MMA purist. It is very rare. It is very rare that you can goad me into betting on something. Don't get me wrong. The Super Bowl comes around, something like that, which I got to be honest, was all over the Chiefs last Super Bowl. But
hey.
I'm an MMA guy, man. I feel like it would be a little too degenerate of me to bet on anything that I just feel like I don't put the work in on. You know what I mean? So nothing for me. It's going to be Tuesday night or bust.
That's a fair take. I like it. Your boy bets hockey. So I'm on the Islanders this evening, and pleased to report that we are up 1-0. Guru, I know you bet some basketball now and again, buddy. Are you on anything tonight?
Nah, just I have a couple other plays for the Contender Series, but that's it for right now. I don't know. I might bet on the basketball game right before it starts. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I don't even know who to pick, so I'm probably not going to do it.
And Cody, I know you do horses and MMA, but do you degenerate it up on any other stuff?
Yeah, I got a hot tip the Celtics were going to cover, but I just seen they won. So thanks for the hot tip.
Hey, whoever gave you that hot tip, send them my way, because that was a damn good call. I thought the Raptors were bouncing back tonight.
Yeah, not much of a basketball guy. It looked like at the top of the fourth quarter, I was like, I don't know if this is a hot tip. But from the basketball that I have watched, it comes down to the last 2 minutes. Like the rest
Every
of the game
damn time
doesn't really matter. Yeah, you just want to hang relatively close, within 6 or 7 points, and then you can make something happen. So, anyways, we're on Contender Series now. We obviously got 5 plays here. We'll talk about props. This wasn't a fight that I love the props in, just because you got a little bit of unknown. It seems like Lutz inside the distance is the way. It wasn't a great price. Him at 500 is not a great price. If you haven't parlayed, you're probably sweating it a little bit, because -500 in parlays are what they are. But let's see. Look at the back on this guy, by the way. He's thick.
You know what? I feel like that's the sign, right, man? Like when someone's got a back like that, it means something. Sean Brady last week, when he comes out and he looks like 2 men standing side to side, you know he's serious.
Okay, those tattoos though, right? You see those tattoos and immediately you're like, I would not mess with this guy.
Yeah. Brady's the guy that he takes the shirt off and you're like, shit, bro, calm down. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, I'll tell you what, Gibson's swinging. He knows what his job's to do here.
Yeah.
That's one big thing about COVID, right? This whole pandemic situation. These guys never really thought they'd be getting a chance at the UFC. Yeah, Lutz, he's got a nice little record. He's on a win streak. Seems like he's going to be getting a crack. But a guy like Gibson that, is 2-1 in his last 3, hasn't really fought notable competition. He's already 30 years old. He's fighting up a weight class. Guys like this don't get their chance. So now that you got a chance, you're not even got a contract, kid. Dana White's standing right there. Everyone says you're going to lose. Bookmakers got you at a minus. You're 5-1 underdog. Like, kid, just go let it go. And that's where upsets do happen, right? Bang, bang, 2-piece right there, just clapped him. Like, I'd say Lutz's best move is just get this fight to the ground. At least wear on him the first round, and there he's not going to swing on you as hard in second and third, right? You got to tax him a little bit.
I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised that Lutz hasn't tried some kind of a takedown or like closed the range. I mean, I know that Gibson's swinging heavy right now, but Lutz is just kind of playing the outside, and it's got me kind of wondering a little bit.
Yeah, and so if this is a UFC fight, bang, another left hook checking him. He leaves his chin way up in the air when he kind of like finishes off his combos, kind of just doesn't bring his hands back. But again, you look at his camp, it's not a striking camp, they're a ground game. Like, they want to get these fights to the ground, so one has to imagine that. I don't know what his game plan is, but he doesn't seem like he's following it particular.
Oof. If he takes too many more of these pops, he's playing a dangerous game.
Yeah, I agree. That's playing into your opponent's hand. And also, again, sorry, if this is a UFC fight and you're getting a good live bet situation, then 100% you look at Gibson, right? Mm-hmm. It was priced at -500, but now that you're watching it in real time, it's closer to 50-50. It looks right now like Gibson's winning the round. I'd still have Lutz as, a -185 favorite like you guys got him when he started off. But at least now you're seeing like, this is not what a 5-1 looks like. I will admit something, though. Gibson is on short notice, and he already looks like he's starting to slow. Hands are low now. He's dancing around a little more lethargic. He's getting sloppy. And he hit Lutz with his best 3 punches, and Lutz just kind of ate them all. So that's demoralizing, let me tell you. Right then, you're like, oh, shit. We might be going 15.
Have you guys done
15? We might be going 15.
Have you guys done any MMA training whatsoever? Do you know what it feels like to be tired, then trying to hit somebody or trying to grapple somebody, and you give it your best go, and they just kind of smile at you? Guru, you grapple. I know you've got to know what that feels like.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I mean, everyone's tapped out to top pressure or something before,
The worst feeling in the world, man, is gassing your arms, going for like an arm triangle, and not getting it, and you're just like stuck there, like, oh crap. Like, what do I do now?
Okay, so let's just hope Lutz pounds him out here, and we can get this one in the bag early. But no, you know what? You guys have trained jiu-jitsu as well. That is the worst feeling. You like slap on a darts or an anaconda, and you just squeeze it so tight because I'm getting tired, man. But I got a good bite on it, and you just overcommit to this thing, squeeze. And as soon as the guy pulls out his head, the worst is though when the guy does it in reverse and they're just like, oh, dude, the next time, just try to little like this. It's like, no, don't coach me through it. Just tap or get out.
Hey, old school. I've seen a couple people in the chat here asking where we can find the show. It is on ESPN Plus, folks. You got to have ESPN Plus to watch the Contender series. And Just Bleed, buddy, I heard you start to talk there for a second. Have you done some MMA? Any experience?
Not really, man. I did Taekwondo when I was a kid, but I'm a full grown man. I don't see myself, throwing any roundhouse kicks anytime soon. But what I wanted to say is, that's the classic saying that we've all heard. Exhaustion makes a coward of all men. It's, you can be the baddest dude, but when you can't breathe and you can't lift your arms anymore, you can't fight. So
black belts turn into blue belts when they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my. Phil Baroni,
I don't know who said that. That's one of my favorite ways to put that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of. I think it's Royce Gracie's like, oh, a black belt. You punch him in the face, he's a brown belt. You punch him in the face, he's a purple belt. And that is true, man. How many high-level black belts have you seen go in there, and either they can't get the fight to the ground, or the first time or two that they do get it, and the guy just gets back up, they're like, oh no. Yeah. Max Roshkoff, right? He had like 3 tricks in the book. He tried all of them right off the get-go, and then was just like, all right, time for me to get out of here.
Perfect example, man. All right, I want to know in the chat. We got 168 people hanging out. First off, thank you all for joining us. We just wrapped up round 1. It was a little back and forth there. We had kind of an early one way, finished the other way. Tell us in the chat. Let us know who you felt like won that round. And I got to ask you guys, it was kind of close, man. I feel like I got to give it to Lutz ending on top. Mm-hmm. But how would you have scored that round?
I'm with you. I think, Gibson did the better work on the feet, but to finish the last minute of the round with Lutz on top kind of banging on him, that's enough for me to give Lutz the slight edge.
Yeah, I agree. I think Lutz probably stole the round with that. I mean, it was like a minute and a half top control. He took the back, so it wasn't like Gibson. Like, he landed some big shots, but he never looked like he really hurt him that bad or anything.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lutz to either finish this fight in the second or have a way better round, just because that's what happens with short notice replacements. They got good 3 minutes of gas. They are wiry, and they are, he's here to fight. So we gave him that 3 minutes, and then you see after that, kind of started to get tired, got taken down, had no way back up. Now look how energized Lutz is. Now he's landing the combos. Now he's marching forward. He's either going to dominate this round or finish him this round. So if you could live bet a Lutz inside the distance, now's the time to do it. If you get him live second round, probably have a stab at that. And if you do have Lutz on your parlays or whatever, you're feeling good at this point. I think we got one round in the bag. Now it's probably going to be our toughest round. So watch for Lutz to look a lot better here.
Yeah, you could see it. you could see Gibson's mouth is already like wide open.
Oh yeah, but between rounds, Gibson is mouth open, chugging air, and Lutz is sitting there, mouth closed, breathing through his nose. So,
but can we all agree that Gibson at least is putting on a show for us? He came to fight.
Oh, yeah.
He's not, and he's swinging. And you know what? He's tired. He took it on short notice. He's up a weight class, and this is above his skill level, to be honest. But
gotta give him
I don't
props.
mind this kid. You don't give him a UFC contract by no stretch, but give him another one of these Contender Series fights against another prospect and let that guy get a couple rounds in.
Either that or we're going to see him on Saturday when somebody falls out popping for COVID.
He's more than likely, to be honest, more than likely, he's bound to get to the UFC some way or another.
I would say Lutz, like, man, he's not really having a smart game plan for the fight, though. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not a big fan of what I'm seeing from him. He's obviously the better fighter, but yeah, man, he's playing this guy's game. And if it wasn't for the gas tank, I'd be worried that Gibson was going to pull this off.
he just almost got hit with that head kick.
Yeah, one thing I think you got to note as well is that you're fighting for a contract. So if your easiest path to victory is get this guy down, smash him on the ground, get some domination. Like, is this what Dana wants to see, you charging head first and just swinging check hooks? Like, he is playing with fire for sure. I think that if he wants to look good, like TJ Laramie's a hell of a striker. Why would he have to strike with Daniel Swing when he could just take him down and absolutely maul the guy from guard, take no shots, and then take a follow-up fight in the UFC a few weeks later? Like that, I think that's the way to play into your key. What I am happy we get to see from him moving forward is now we have a way better indication of like, what's this guy striking like? What's this guy's cardio like? He just nailed it. Big right hand there. Oh, yeah, he's starting to have his way. Lutz looks okay. He'll get the contract assuming he wins this fight. But depending on who they give him in the UFC, I'm not overly impressed either.
I feel you. I'm right there with you. Like, this is not good game planning whatsoever, which I got to ask the question, you guys. Do you guys feel like we see people come in with bad, more dangerous game plans because of the fact that it's Tuesday Night Contender Series? They want that spectacular KO. They want that, highlight reel thing that they know is going to send them into the UFC, as opposed to, winning a more black and white, boring, unanimous decision where Dana says, you won convincingly, but that wasn't spectacular. I saw 3 other spectacular knockouts. I'm going to give these guys the contract. You guys think that plays into these fighters in their minds?
1,000%, man.
Has to.
So just real quick, I want to answer this chat message here. I'm at 2:02, 2:01, 2 minutes. We can't really sync up because we're all watching it on separate TVs, unfortunately, but that's about where we're at. Go ahead, Cody.
Yeah. No, it just seems like, Lutz is turning into Nick Diaz a little bit, just stalking and landing nice combos from the outside.
Did I hear someone say Diaz? Speaking of Diaz, did we not hear the announcement? The BMF rematch is getting set up, boys. We are going to get the rematch that nobody ever wanted or asked for. Masvidal Diaz 2. Can you believe it?
Yeah, what do you think? You think Masvidal will be like minus 500?
I mean, he's got to be, right?
You know what?
Diaz wasn't even in that fight.
You know what, guys? I'm going to be honest. I think we're going to see a fight lined far closer than we should have. You have no idea how many people tried to tell me, Nate Diaz, the cut stopped the fight. Nate Diaz was just getting warmed up. He was getting ready to go out there and
I've heard that a lot too, actually.
That's a valid point.
Bro,
I've
he was
heard
just
the same damn thing.
No, what do you mean warmed up? He was getting shellacked.
Dude, I was one of the poor saps that actually bet on Diaz. I was not a Masvidal believer. At that point in time, I refused to accept that Masvidal had turned a corner in his career, and I thought it was going to play out a whole lot closer. And yeah, after having bet Diaz, I can't believe people think he had any kind of a shot in that fight.
You know what? That line opened at minus 110 apiece, and I was like, what? And it went off at 170 Masvidal. Again. What? There's no way it's below minus 500 this time. I could see people liking Diaz, but the same thing applies to the first fight, that applies to this fight, that applies to them fighting at almost any point in their careers, is that Masvidal is way faster than him, and he's twice as fast as him. And Nate Diaz he makes his money on taking a beating and then coming back and finishing you late. But those big wins in his career, finishing guys late, Conor McGregor, like those guys are kind of half fragile. Like Jorge Masvidal is not fragile. If anything, he's just as durable. Like he's going to be there at the end as well. So it was a bad stylistical matchup. I understand why the UFC puts it together. It's not. You can't say it's not a great fight for the fans because whatever. It's still going to be a badass fight. Like they're still going to swing down. It's still going to be 2 top level guys in what's predominantly going to be a stand up affair. for however long it goes. Like that's all still fun and games. But for the UFC, man, this is dope. If Masvidal wins, we're just gonna sell this guy as a title contender, which he's not. But we're gonna sell this guy in potential matchups where he can fight Colby, which is fun, and he can fight Leon Edwards, which would be fun. People seem to want to see it. And hey, man, this guy can potentially fight Tyron Woodley, and he can fight like there's fun fights for him that they can sell if he goes out and decimates Nate Diaz. If Nate Diaz pulls off the miracle, he gets the rematch of Conor, and we can get a money fight out of that. So they can't lose here. They're just going to throw this out there, and the story is just going to tell itself. Whoever wins is going to get the fight. The other guy, fades off to just another mark on somebody's belt, right?
Yeah, man. This is the UFC's win-win get right fight, no matter which way you dice it. Go ahead, Just Bleed. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, buddy.
Oh, you're good. You're good, buddy. One thing that's interesting to me, guys, and Dana White has said we're not going to see Conor McGregor until there's in-house ticket sales, right? We're not now. Don't get me wrong. If this thing stretches out and it's another year of whatever, no fans in the crowd, we're going to see Conor at some point. But to me, this fight being booked, I want to say they're going to do it in January. I think the UFC has the foresight. I think they think that we might have fans back in the building by the time this fight rolls around. This is a big time money fight. They got to really pay these guys. And I don't know. I kind of want to get your guys' input. Do you think by January we will have fans back in the building?
I mean, I think they already have fans in other countries, right? Like in certain events. So
other countries is the key word. Countries that have taken Corona seriously and crushed the numbers. They're talking about doing 25% or something in NFL stadiums. So
I think so.
Maybe partial.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I look at it, not that I'm the biggest. Oh man, I'll tell you, Gibson's a junkyard dog. Like if he's down 2 rounds and he knows, he's still in it for sure. Okay, Lutz is now tired.
Dude, it could be 1-1, man. There's an outside shot that they scored round 1 for Gibson.
Yeah, you're right. 2 minutes of top control at the end kind of sealed it for me. But I'll tell you what, man, Gibson is not by any stretch out of this thing. Those head strikes are pretty telling, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so he is getting pieced up. I think he's down 2 rounds, but still, I mean, he's giving a good account of himself, man. Plus, if one of these right hands or one of these head kicks, these are sneaky. Lutz is still doing the same thing. Like, he's trying to drop his hands. Oof. I thought he looked... Ooh, I'll tell you what, boys, we got a fun fight on our hands.
He's throwing heat in round 3, man. This is the kind of guy that'll crack you when you're a little tired with 1 minute on the bell. Or if you're me and you bet on Alessio Di Chirico with 1 second left on the clock, you'll get robbed by that kind of a head kick.
Clint, if you've seen those parlays I tweeted out this weekend, right? If Di Chirico hits, because he's on the Mallory Martin ticket as well, it's plus 2,200, right? Bro. And it's a last second buzzer beater, but I'm not upset because that's MMA. And if I was on the other side, if I had take Zach Cummins there, I'd have been like, oh baby, that's the crazy thing about this sport. Gibson could sleep Lutz here with 1 shot. It could happen. It's the craziest sport out there. Lutz could twist on him and look like a 5-20. Yeah. Lutz better hope that they give him that first round. I got it 2-0 Lutz personally. Probably be 2-1 after this, but we'll see. There's still lots of time in the round, right? But I'm actually impressed with Gibson, especially considering give him a fight at 45. Is he going to look even better than this? Give him a good account of himself.
Rick, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. It's a painful memory, I know.
Listen, you guys want to talk about Di Chirico letting you down. Pretty sure I'd have placed first on the big game in DraftKings had Di Chirico avoided that head kick at the last second.
That was a devastating way to lose. Devastating way to lose, man. Remember Ankalaev tapped out to Paul Craig last seconds? The same thing. It's there was a feeling of just oh no.
Gibson just took Lutz down. Okay, Lutz reversed it and got on top. All right. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So somebody had a suggestion in the chat that we may want to think about. So we can all pause our streams at a certain specific point in the fight so that we kind of sync up, and that might not be such a bad idea. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, we could give it a try.
Do we want to try and time it when the clock hits 0 on this fight? Like everyone get ready, and then when this fight is actually over, try and all get synced up at 0, 0, 0?
I think it's a good try.
So we're going to go right at 0, right when this round ends.
Everybody pause your ESPN Plus when it says 0, 0, 0, and then I'll count us all down to press play, and we'll all be synced up from that point forward.
I like it.
Okay, 100%.
Until ESPN Plus hiccups, and then somebody has to refresh and gets left in the dust.
No kidding. We'll give it a shot, though. Why not?
And that one person will forever be ahead of us.
Switch on him.
And Gibson's on. Oh, Gibson's on the back. Oh, Gibson's on the back around the neck. He's trying.
Oh, no.
Holy crap, bro. If Lutz is the guy that gets bet all the way down to minus 500 and then gets put out this way at the end of the fight, he actually let him get under the neck. You better fight that arm, buddy.
Yeah. 2-on-1 wrist control and ride it out, baby.
Yeah,
2-on-1 wrist
that
control.
baseball bat, he's
Fight
in trouble.
The hands.
And Gibson is going for it, man. He's squirmy back there.
Strong finish from Gibson, no doubt.
Yeah.
If anybody gave Gibson round one, this could be a split. This could be a straight loss for Lutz.
Go to the chat. What does the chat have it scored right now?
I saw a couple people that said 1-1. Yeah, Danny's freaking out, man. Pause. Did everybody pause up at 0?
I'm not at 0 yet, but I'm going to as soon as I hit it.
Oh, wow, you're way behind us then. Okay, I'm glad we did this. Let us know when you get there. We're all just going to wait.
I am there.
All right. Did everybody in the chat pause up at 0? We're going to count it down. 3, 2, 1, play. All right. We should all be synced up at about the same point in time now. Thank you for the suggestion. You know who you are. I missed your name as it scrolled through in the chat, but excellent idea. We should be all on the same page. All right. I'm seeing 29-28 Lutz. I'm seeing Lutz. I do see a 1-2 Gibson in here.
Yeah,
Seems
man,
good.
way closer than I wanted it to be, though. Fuck.
Oh, my God, dude. So much closer. I mean, even minus 185 was a bad line, right? Like, we all thought this kid was value.
Considering how it played out, minus 185 was too steep on Lutz. Yeah.
He shot 0 takedowns in the whole fight. He never shot one take. Even in the first round, he got on top of him because he, fell down.
Yeah. Terrible.
So,
Terrible.
I don't know what he was thinking.
Man, I always try to tell people, this is the thing with MMA. Like Cody was talking about it, how random it is, how crazy of a sport that it is. The worst thing for me when it comes to betting MMA is that we can't coach these guys. You can see the skill set edge for somebody. You can see where they've got the advantage. They don't hear us screaming at the TV. They're not going to follow my game plan. If you're going to bet on a fighter based on their skill set, you got to know damn sure they're going to do what you expect them to do. You know what I mean? Like, that's where Brian Kelleher, he always fights the exact same way. You're never worried that he's going to come out and do some crazy-ass stuff.
Are we all the same? Because I just saw him get his hand raised.
We got it, boys. We got it.
Me and
There we go. There we go. Cash it.
Cash them up. First one of the night.
Record ahead or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know how, but you guys are a little bit ahead of me again.
What the fuck? That's crazy. They gave him 330-27s.
That's surprising.
Whatever.
So I went back to half units. I went half units the first night, did well. I went full units the second night, got smashed. So this week I'm going back to the half units just because of the variance here in Tuesday Night Contenders. But we locked up the first leg of the parlay. Hope everybody's on board.
Great job, boys. Cashed up on the first one of the night. Don't get a better feeling than that.
Good work, good work. Guru, you want to kick us off? Talk about the next fight, man. Let's get rolling into that and see if we can find anything for the people to jump on late here with us.
Yeah, interesting fight. We got William Knight, Cody Brundage. Apparently, Cody Brundage, he's went to Factory X. They got a lot of people saying that he's, a pretty good prospect. Anthony Smith and Cummings, people like that. So, he's definitely training with good people, but he's usually, I believe, a 185er, but he's fought like 195, 190. Fights at all these weird catch weights against guys that aren't that good. So he really hasn't fought great competition either. William Knight definitely, has fought a lot better guys. He's fought some guys that were on the Contender Series, got some wins there. He fought Jorgen De Castro a couple times. He fought Matthew Semmelsberger, who's in the UFC also, and he has wins over those guys as well. And he's a weird fighter, though, man. I mean, he's like a big, muscular Alonzo Menefield type guy, but he's like losing every single fight that he's in until he somehow comes back, gets the win. And it's weird. It's like you'd think a big guy like that with a lot of muscle would be a guy that gasses out in his fights, but he seems to weather the storm, but then come back late and get these finishes. Like he did it on the Contender Series. I saw him do it to Jamel Jones, who's like another guy that fought on a Contender Series as well. So I've seen him put in like real bad positions, and he just has kind of like that Derek Lewis, just like he gets up because he's so big and strong. And I mean, Brundage, he looks more like a grappler with okay striking, and I don't know. I feel like he might be able to get a finish, but I think the size is going to be I know William Knight is shorter, like a lot, like not as tall, but he's big, compact. I feel like he's going to have a strength advantage in the clinch. And when they wrestle, I mean, I feel like he might be put in some bad positions, but I think I've seen him weather the storm before. Even in his one loss, I felt like the stoppage was real early. I thought it was like a terrible stoppage in that fight. So I don't know. I'm going to go with William Knight to either get a TKO on the ground or on the feet. I just feel like when he gets his moment to finish the fight, he finishes it. And I think he's a little bit better athlete than Brundage, but I wouldn't be surprised either way. I mean, Brundage has a lot of hype on him, looks decent, but he's fought a real low-level competition. So I don't know. I'm just going to go with Knight here.
All right. I'm going to mix it up. Cody, you take the next stab at this one, man.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with the underdog. Or sorry, I'm going to take Cody Brundage. I see he's now the slight enough favorite. Yeah, man, honestly, I think it's going to come down to the wrestling. It's not that I have anything against Knight, but I think Guru made just the best point. He is very much a Derek Lewis type fighter. He's very much an Alonzo Menefield type fighter. He has so much muscle on him that if he exerted himself even the slightest bit, he would get tired. So he just looks to do the bare minimum. When he's striking, he's not throwing combinations. He stands flat-footed. He doesn't move a whole lot. He's not bouncing around. And he just looks to load up on that one big right hand, that one big kick. The guy actually would prefer to grapple. He'd rather get a hold of you, whip you to the ground. The problem is that he just uses muscle and everything. That's his technique. At 5'10", fighting at light heavyweight, that puts him amongst the shortest light heavyweights. You look at all these guys; they're all 6 foot plus. He's not, but he's got all that muscle on him. So he has to use that to his advantage. His striking is just a shorter guy. But as far as being on the inside, as far as being clinched up, then he could use that to his advantage. The problem is that his grappling is just no good. In basically every single one of his fights, he gets taken down. You go back to his Contender Series fight. We'll start with that one. The Hardum Alakabek fight. The first round, he gets beaten up. He gets taken down. He's beaten up in the stand-up, taken down relatively easy, can't get back up. He loses the first. The second round, he loses 4 minutes of the second round. And in the very last minute, botch takedown, ends up in a mount, pounds him from mount, wins the second round based on that. Going into the third, still a relatively close fight. He pulls out and he beats him in the third. The cardio checks out. I appreciated that from him. His ground and pound looked pretty okay, but he relied on his opponent getting extremely fatigued. The Jamel Jones fight, Jamel Jones is an okay fighter. This fight took place at a catchweight of 220. Jamel Jones is in very poor shape. And by the way, Jamel Jones almost submits him with an arm triangle about 30 seconds into the first round. He just takes him down, he out-grapples him, and then, wouldn't you know it, about 30 seconds left in the first round, William Knight gets on top of him, he pounds him out. At this point, he's still got the Contender Series. He didn't get a contract. They gave him a developmental deal. Even though he's just defeated 2 guys, they still don't call him to the UFC. They say, you know what, take one more. He fights a 2-0 prospect. And I do agree with Guru as well. It was an early stoppage, but he never won 1 second of that round. It only lasts 2:30. But he never wins 1 second prior to the early stoppage. He gets completely dominated in the stand-up. He's far too short. Knees to the body are open on this guy all day long. And then he gets taken down, and then he gets ground and pounded, and then it's an early stoppage. Okay, fair. Maybe if the fight would have gone longer, it would have been just like he's been doing to other opponents. He stays in the fight long enough to win it. That's the key here. Even in the Rocky Edwards fight, Rocky Edwards, journeyman, 12-9-1. That's his last fight. Rocky Edwards also a middleweight, not even a 205er. Rocky Edwards gets his ass kicked in the first round. Rocky Edwards wins the second round, takes him down, takes his back, out-grapples him. Knight's 32. I'm not impressed with anything that I've seen. He survives long enough to beat you. That's fine. Cody Brundage, he's married to Amanda Bobby Cooper, UFC veteran, tough veteran, fought a lot of the top girls in her weight class, just had a kid, so she's not fighting currently. But he's married to her. He's already seen the big lights. Trains out of Michigan full-time, not full-time, he's got a part-time job. And then 10 weeks ago, leaves his full-time job and goes right into camp, Colorado, over at Factory X Muay Thai, did his full camp with Anthony Smith, who looked awful. But Clint, that's your boy, did his full
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, you bet him on
last
week.
but...
You're right. Well, that's whack. As far as I'm concerned, that shit is whack. But I'll digress. Apparently Smith's cornering him. They're both big bodies. He's trained in a pretty good camp, and he's had an extended camp. Now it just goes back to how does Brundage win this fight? Well, his stand-up's not very good. So even though he could try to play the longer man. You know, he's 6'1". He is the natural light heavyweight. He has he has fought a middleweight in the past, but he's filled out to his frame a little bit. Maybe he plays that game. But the move here is William Knight can't wrestle. He gets taken down in all of his fights. So you have to wrestle him. You have to go in there and take him down. Now, Brundage has got some decent stats. Just to read it out quick here. I read this earlier anyways. So anyway, his mom competed in the biathlon at the University of Vermont. Okay, so mom's a sick athlete. This is prior to Newberry. He was a three-sport athlete at Chaplin High School, 4-time wrestling letterman, winning the regional 3 times, lower state champion as a junior and a senior, state runner-up as a senior. He was also the school's single-season wins record as a senior, 56-3, had a career wrestling record in high school of 128-22. He was also a 2-year defensive end in the football team and swam freestyle and breaststroke as a freshman and a sophomore. Pretty badass. Goes on to wrestle collegiately in 2013, 2014. Always has a winning record in college. And then his last year, he's a senior. He wrestles both at 197 pounds and 285, which is just their open. You know, he might be 210, 215, whatever. He's wrestling the heavyweights. He's injured late in the season, missing out on a chance to wrestle at the super region. Blah, 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 blah. That's his best year. He goes 17-9. Doesn't sound great, but he's also 13-5 at 197, 4-4 at heavyweight. Wins all 6 matches by pinfall. Anyways, it's a nice little collegiate wrestling career. And then he's got nothing to do after college wrestling. So he gets on with the gym, meets Amanda Cooper, goes full-time to MMA. And now the guy just balls out on MMA. But the best piece of advice here is going into this fight. Because, Clint, you brought this up at the top of the show. Does it change the mentality? You're fighting for a contract. This guy's path to victory is make this a stinker. He needs to go out and Neil Magny him. He needs to go out and just absolutely dominate this guy in the clinch. Take him down, hold him down, win 2 of the 3 rounds and survive. That's not a great way to get a contract. Most guys probably wouldn't do that. But Brundage has gone on record being like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to go out there and wrestle this guy down and beat him, contract or not, whatever. So if he sticks by that, I think that's his advantage. I seen earlier he's minus 130. That's fair. Now he's all the way up to minus 160. People are obviously jumping on board with him, but I feel like the grappling should be the advantage. If Knight wins this, and he's live dog in the sense that he's going to give up the first round or 2, and then Brundage's cardio might not be good enough to wrestle for 15 minutes, and Knight will have his opportunity to get the knockout or work his way back into it. But I am going to take Brundage by decision. The decision prop on this is like plus 250 or plus 260 or something absolutely ridiculous. So I had to stab at that.
Damn, they got Anthony Smith coming out with crutches, man.
Wow.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, let's not talk
Clint.
anymore about
Sorry,
Anthony
Clint.
Smith. Let's not talk anymore about it. Was a bad bet, okay? I thought there was value at plus 250. It was a bad bet. Just bleed. Distract them so they don't mock me for my Anthony Smith pick anymore,
Yeah,
please.
Come on, don't be beating up my guy Clint too bad. He took that value play. You guys know. Listen, he looked like a genius if he had jumped on Rakic's back and had him tapping, in that 3rd round. So it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, hey, what else can I add to that? I mean, Cody, you dissected this Brundage guy to the we got it all on this guy. So check it out. I'm actually on William Knight in this one. I feel like Guru had a pretty good read on it. I got to be honest though, man. This William Knight guy, he's a tough guy to get a read on. Why? You guys were bringing up the Derek Lewis factor. 100%, man. Like, this guy is going to lose. And then what do you know? He wins it. Gets the other guy out of there. I feel like he could do that this fight. I feel like it is a very risky fight. William Knight, now an underdog. Yeah, I feel like it might be worth it, but it's tough. A guy that loses the whole fight, they go to the scorecards, he's going to lose. You know what I mean? You need him to get the fight finished. And something tells me I think Knight could do it. But at the same time, how many times can you go out there and lose the majority of the fight and then get your hand raised at the end? Eventually, the pendulum's going to swing back the other way. Some of these guys are going to be able to handle that barrage, take you to the scorecards, and win 29, 28, 30, 27. So very risky fight. That being said, I still got a unit on Knight. Get it done, Knight. Cody's making me feel a lot less confident, though. But, Guru, I'm with you, brother. Let's get this one.
So I'll tell you guys, this is one where I initially leaned Cody. You all know that I do the post-weigh-in video. That'll be out Friday, by the way, for Saturday's show here on odds.com. And I watch the Contender Series weigh-ins now on Mondays because I try to look for that little angle, that little edge. And Knight came in 2.5 pounds overweight. He looked bad on the scales. He looked frustrated. He looked upset. And because of that, I was very much leaning towards throwing some money on Cody. But like you guys have talked about, this is the guy the UFC has put their stamp on. This is the guy that they want to see win. He's on that development contract. He's got more experience than the other guy. So I decided to just go ahead and lay off it, especially now seeing that Cody is the favorite in the fight. There's no way I can go there. I feel like this is dog or pass. You got to take that dog money on the big boy with the power, or just call it a day. I want to say thank you all again to the chat. We've got 234 live viewers. We've got A. Miller, Z's MMA, my buddy here in the chat. A couple people asking if I'm doing Fireball. Not on a Tuesday night, folks. Unfortunately, we're not going that hard here on the show. We've got my boy Danny Seho, Razor Sharp Picks, Charles, Donald Still, Brian Brackett. What is up, everybody? Thank you all for jumping in and hanging out with us this evening. We're about to kick off here. Second fight of the night. This one's a Fireball and popcorn fight for me. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it. No bets. Go ahead, guys. If you have a bet on it, one more time, round it out right quick before we get started here. What's everybody on?
I got Knight.
Yeah.
I got Brundage, and I'm looking at Brundage by decision as well.
Okay.
I don't have a bet on this one, but yeah, Clint, also to talk to your point about the weigh-in, Knight actually did come back and make weight. So he weighed in.
Oh, did he later?
Yeah, so he came back and made weight. So I don't know if that matters, but he did, yeah.
So for me, that would matter a little bit, because when they take that extra effort to drain themselves down, we talked about this kid coming out to grapple. If he's the comeback guy, Knight, you know what I mean? If he's always got to dig deep and come back, and he had to make that extra tough weight cut to get all the way down there, you got to wonder if he's going to have that gas left in the tank later on.
Good point.
Yeah.
What point in this fight are you guys on? Has it started?
Oh,
I'm at
yeah.
233, 232, 231.
Okay, yeah. So,
Or you mean 4?
And Brundage is
I'm sorry,
looking
4.
very
Yeah,
good.
4. I'm in the
well,
future.
yeah, but Knight's a survivor, so the first round is hopefully
Oh,
Brundage
man.
just from the
Oh, he's
from
Brundage is
rest,
already on his
just rest.
back,
He should just rest and be like, okay, I'll do this for the second round, and I'll just survive for the third. Don't try to free your
Did we
hand.
all
Don't
get
try to
desynced
clobber him.
again? Because I don't feel like we're at the same spot right now.
Did you say you were two minutes left in?
I'm sorry, 4 minutes and 6, 5, 4, 3. I said 2 instead of 4.
I'm
That
at
was my
4.
bad.
I'm at 359, so.
Okay,
I'm
I'm right there
with
with
you.
you.
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he totally flattened him out, though, now.
Yeah, look how calm he is, though.
Yeah,
He's
this
just
is
chilling.
Bro, this thing's like I'm telling you, it is Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis is like, this is all good. I'm gonna wait for my one chance. And I'm just gonna stand up.
Dude, that
Just gonna get that.
Derek Brunson's tweet about how does jiu-jitsu work? Like, why don't you just stand up and walk away? Like, that's classic Derek Brunson, dude. I love it, because he's maybe the only man on the planet capable of that. He's like, fuck your black belt. I'm just going to walk away.
Yeah, wrist control from Knight, though, man. Brundage can't even get his hand away.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've talked about it. I call it the Buffalo Wild Wings syndrome. You know how when you go to a Buffalo Wild Wings to watch fights, and when someone gets taken down, there's that drunk guy who keeps screaming, "Just get up." Derek Lewis does that.
Dude, Knight is
Derek
crazy
Lewis fights
strong,
for the
man.
Buffalo Wild Wings, man. He's
Ooh.
like, I hear you, buddy.
That'd be a great sponsor for him. He's already got Popeyes though. Conflict of interest.
True.
The way he just got up, or he's getting up. is,
Yeah.
like, terrible
He's
technique.
He's
gonna
getting tagged up.
He's not. Oh, man.
back of the head.
He's going to get back up to his feet, man. He's going to
Yeah,
get
these
back. This is
Travis Brown elbows. That's going to be
Those
a
are
day.
back of the
it's
head,
over.
man.
It's over.
Yeah, he's done.
Oh,
Wow.
Knight
I
won.
got to see the replay.
And
though,
the ref just letting the man die in there again.
Herb,
He let him
yeah,
get
Herb doesn't give a
knocked out
shit.
cold. Oh, man.
Man, those
Do
are
you
the
guys-
back of the head. Can they
Do you guys
to
remember-
replay?
Do you remember when
They're in
Herb Dean was the
Vegas.
best ref in MMA? Do you guys remember those
He
days?
just let a guy get smashed in the back of the head 3 times by fucking elbows. Yeah, I remember those days. Those are the good old days when there's only 3 refs and he was competing against Steve Mazzagatti and Yves Leving. Oh, baby. Yeah, he was the best back in those days for sure.
Let them be warriors.
I don't. They look like they're the first few were illegal. I don't know.
Yeah, right there. When he puts his head down, those last 2 are pretty on the back, I feel like.
He was
But
done.
hey, if you guys
You know what?
if you
They're
guys
not
cash
even
that
having
dog bet though.
Well, that's... Hey,
I
and you know
didn't
what?
play
Knight
it.
fought
Just
pretty
read them.
similar. He got taken down. He survived. He got up. He landed his heavy hands.
Knight did what we thought Knight would do, which is get dominated and then win.
The way he stood up like that was crazy. I don't like. That was horrible technique the way that he did that. But I don't.
Well, I tell you what, boys, I only had two bets in the bag, and we're about 13 minutes into them tonight, and I already got them cashed up. So I don't know. What do we do from here?
We sweat my bets.
There you go. Do I get wild and crazy and bet some more, or do I just a winner on the night and we just watch some fights? You know, I don't know.
Man, that's every gambler's problem, right? Do you walk away while you're up?
I hate to say it. The answer is usually the smart answer is usually yes. So,
well, why do you hate to say it? That's the smart answer.
Well, because it's so fun to put money on fights, Clint. That's why.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I've got the second leg of my parlay left, so I'm still waiting on Jose Johnson, and then I've still got that dog bet on Jimmy Flick. Those are my two remaining picks. So if anybody wants to jump on those, that's where we're sitting.
Where are they at right now? Let me bring up some odds here.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, Miller says, "Ha, wrestling."
I think Flick will win, but I don't like at plus 100. I mean, I wanted to get like plus 150. I was hoping the line would go the other way, but
where did they open? Gosh, Flick opened as a minus 165 favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
See, and that's where I don't know, man. I know things are sketchy on the Contender series, but most of the time, bookies know what they're doing. Whenever a person opens a giant favorite like that and they get bet down to even money or they flip over to be in the dog, I'm always so tempted to take that because you want to be on the side of the house, right? Like, they never lose. The house always wins. So, yeah, every once in a while they'll get a fighter's read wrong. But whenever the house opens up someone as a massive favorite and the market says, no, I start looking for why. I start really trying to get in there and go, okay, now why did the house think this person was a favorite? I settled on Flick. I got him at plus 145. And if you're getting even money or slightly dog money on him, I wouldn't say he's a bad bet. Is that the next fight?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about it then. Let's talk about it. Just Bleed, I want you to kick this one off for us, man. You didn't make a bet on it, so talk to us about the fight. Give us your thoughts.
Well, hold on. On Tapology, it's listed the next fight is Jose Johnson and Ronnie Lawrence. Do we know Flick and Smith are next?
Oh, yeah, you're right, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Put a pin in it then. Go ahead. Kick us off on the next one.
Okay, so, I mean, Jose Johnson, right? I know, Guru, you talked about it because, man, when I looked at this guy's resume, it literally made my eyes pop out of my head. This guy has more amateur fights than anyone I've ever seen, possibly by double. I mean, it is ridiculous how deep this guy's resume is. I mean, he's only 11-5 as it stands right now as a pro, but dude is super young. Also like his nickname a lot. This guy, I don't know if you guys know this, it's the rare double nickname, No Way / Los Lobos, which I'm not an expert on Spanish, but I believe Los Lobos translates to the Wolves. But I could be wrong there. But, I mean, actually, not even 26. He's 25 years old. You know, I watched the tape on this guy. Pretty good guy, you know. I mean, you look at the record. He's just finishing people. Hasn't gone to a decision since 2018 against Armando Villarreal, you know, a fight that he lost. But this guy, I mean, it looks to be like, you know, he's either going to finish the fight or get finished. He's not got a lot of decisions, and most of the decisions are early in his career. But, man, I don't know. Like, you got to think this guy's got the experience. This guy's got to be a well-rounded guy, being as he's been in the cage so much. I like that a lot. Probably not going to be dealing with a lot of nerves coming into this situation. I mean, we see guys coming into Contender series that are like 5-0, 6-0. You know what I mean? So I think I do like Jose, but, you know, Ronnie Lawrence, 5-1. I think he's the big underdog at this point. You know, the experience just so much more. I mean, he's got what? I'm looking at him right now. He's got 5 amateur fights. He won them all. Has lost one fight to Steve Garcia, if it's the same Steve Garcia I'm thinking of, you know, made his way to the big show and is now in the UFC. Not a terrible guy, but not a great guy. Probably pretty telling on where this guy's skill level's at, though. You know what, though? That's all the way back in 2016. At some point, he took about 2.5 years off. Does anybody know why he took that big break in his pro career, 2.5 years?
No, I don't know.
Huh. Okay. I mean,
Cody, you got a nugget for us? Do you know why?
Yeah, I don't know why he took the 3 years off, but yeah, we'll talk about him. One guy's had a lot of time off, and one guy fights all of the time. So,
there you go. And that's
yeah, it's
kind of telling, you know. I mean, if you ask me, hey, would you like the guy who took a 2.5-year break or the guy who fights every 2 weeks? The guy that fights every 2 weeks probably going to be a little more comfortable in the cage. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm going to go ahead and have to go with the favorite here. I can't back Ronnie Lawrence. I got Jose Johnson in this one, but I don't know if I can bet it. Let me look at these odds real quick. Maybe I get a little sneaky here. Minus 300. I can't do that. That's going to be a fireball and popcorn for me, boys. But I tell you guys what, if you're not following my man Clint on Twitter, make sure you are, because very hilarious pic. Dude, I got to tell you, of all the pictures, everybody in MMA, Clint posted probably my favorite picture I've ever seen on Twitter. And I got to tell you what, it actually inspired me a little bit, because I noticed a fine detail in that picture, Clint. We might have a new one here. It might not be fireball and popcorn. It might be fireball and Pringles from here on out, baby. I saw that can of original there.
Hey, if you're drinking, you got to have that salty treat, right? Like there, for whatever reason, when you're drinking, the salt hits different, bro.
No doubt.
Every time.
So I'm going to go Jose on this one. Heavy favorite, minus 300. I can't touch it, but I'm confident he should win, honestly.
All right. I like it. I'm on Jose to anchor out my my parlay here. I like it. I'm glad with the pick there. Thank you for the shout out. And yeah, I'm not afraid to post topless drinking pictures of myself on Twitter. So if that's the kind of thing you're into on a Saturday night, head on over to my Twitter and check it out. As a matter of fact, follow everybody here on the panel. We've got Just Bleed MMA. And what's your Twitter handle, buddy?
Just Bleed MMA with underscores in between. You'll find me, baby.
Almost like it was easy, intended that way. MMA Predictions Guru, what's your Twitter handle, buddy?
Prediction MMA, you can catch me there.
There we go. And at Cody Saftic, he was kind enough to put it on the little blue tag there. That's the smart one right there. Let's go, Cody. I assume that's your handle.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I go by as well. I'm going to be like Prince. I'm just going to change my name into the @ symbol and then have CJ Saftic.
The handicapper formerly known as Cody. So,
Ooh,
right.
Wow, I like
Rain.
it.
Purple Dog
Guru,
Money.
talk to me. Talk to me about this next fight, man, before we run out of time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's closing out the parlay that I gave as well on the video. So I actually got him at minus 175. So just like Bleed said, I wouldn't play him now. I do see him minus 120 inside the distance. I don't think that's a terrible play, because if he gets the win, it's probably going to be a finish. And looking at the fight, I mean, it should be a fun fight. It's two guys that like to strike, but I feel like in this fight, Ronnie Lawrence is going to try to, bust out that double leg that he was hitting in his last fight, try to wrestle. Because on the feet, I mean, Johnson's one of the biggest bantamweights I've ever seen. He's 6 feet tall, huge guy, and controls the distance real well, walks guys down. He has real good elbows. Like I've seen him knock guys out brutally with elbows, slice them open real bad with the elbows. And he's gotten really good in the clinch, just with being dangerous. So guys don't want to, try to take him down, control him against the fence, where he was weak with that before. His get-ups have gotten a lot better. I feel like, his kicks and his speed, just his distance control at range is very good. Lawrence, more of a striker too. I mean, he has real heavy low kicks. There's a lot of spins. More of a kicker. Doesn't really have great hands, but a decent straight down the middle. And he has the double leg that he uses, but not really a wrestler. So I feel like Johnson probably will get it done in this one inside the distance. And I think Johnson is a pretty decent prospect. Like Bleed was saying, he's 68-12 as an amateur, which is pretty crazy. I mean, that's
unreal.
He almost has 100 fights already under his record. So, I mean, I think that he's a pretty good prospect and should get the win here.
All right. Cody, you got anything to add to all that, man?
Yeah, I see a lot of love for him online, obviously on the show here. I'm not fully sold on Jose Johnson yet. Listen, he looks absolutely dynamite as far as his striking game goes. His knees from the clinch, his elbows from the clinch. He's just so fluid with his Muay Thai. Like as far as strictly Muay Thai striking goes, he looks as fun, as crisp, and as technical as most guys you're going to see. But he's been just a learn on the job kind of guy. I mean, we're all just raving about his amateur career and this and that. And this is a guy that started out 1-6 as an amateur. This is a guy that's been submitted in pretty much all those amateur losses. But he fought 21 times in 2015, just in MMA. 21 fights. He just keeps learning on the job. I mean, even when he turns pro, he loses his first 2 pro fights, but he keeps learning on the job. And that's all fine and well and good, because he's still only 26. He's going to keep getting better and better. Sorry, he's only 25. He's going to keep making improvements. This guy's going to be good. But when you're learning on the job, you're making a lot of mistakes. That's how he's learning. You look at his record. When he beats guys, he looks absolutely fantastic. A couple of those losses here and there in the mix, It's his grappling that actually still costs him. Now, mind you, he hasn't lost in 2 years as a pro. He's filling out his frame. He's 6 foot. At this weight class is just absolutely gigantic. I mean, talk about one of the bigger bantamweights you're going to run into. But with Ronnie Lawrence, he's a bit of an unknown as well. Because as we all talked about this 3-year-long layoff, his only pro loss was to Steve Garcia. Now, Steve Garcia, yes, did go to the UFC, but also that's a Bellator fight, right? So he's on the big show, fighting for Bellator. First round, Steve Garcia beats him. Fairly close round, but Steve Garcia beats him. Second round, Lawrence, he wins the round. It's a good round. They're putting it on each other a little bit. Lawrence is starting to pull away, and it's all coming down to the third round. And the third round, he gets dropped right at the end of the third round, and now he took the 3 years off. Well, what has he been doing? But he was always in Tennessee. He was a Tennessee fighter, and apparently he was the best guy in the gym, growing, and not so much. He comes in, he does his own thing. Those 3 years, that gave him a lot of time to grow, man, because he's still only 28 himself. He's turned amateur his own career. This is Lawrence. Lawrence starts fighting his amateur career at 18. Young kid. Those 3 years, that's the difference between 20, I think it was the difference between 22 and 24, or 25, sorry. He's filled out. He looks a little bit better. And then his last 2 fights, those are the best he's ever looked. His grappling looks okay. His striking looks real okay. He's a good counter striker. His cardio's all right. But beyond that, he left Tennessee and he went to American Top Team. Now it is American Top Team Sunrise, so it's not exactly the Coconut Creek facility, but all the same, he's gotten out of his comfort zones. He's getting in quality rounds. He seems to be in good shape. All I'm saying is that he seems like he's a pretty big underdog when I think he's got a decent skill set that would actually match up well against Jose Johnson. I think Jose Johnson has got such a nice career highlight reel. It's really easy to get behind this guy. I want to see him get signed to the UFC. I want to see these fun fights that he could potentially have in front of him, but I can't get behind him at this kind of a price tag. So unless you were taking a punt play for an underdog, you guys all hit an underdog. Maybe I'm chasing an underdog, but I think the smart play would just be to pass on it because the favorite is he's too much juice on Jose Johnson. I don't fully know what I'm getting out of him. I'm not fully convinced by him yet, but this will be telling, right? If he goes out there and destroys Ronnie Lawrence, gets the UFC contract, we got a fun little prospect on our hands here.
All right. I feel it, man. And honestly, I really liked his opponent here. I liked everything that I saw from Ronnie Lawrence when I was watching the tape on this fight, so I totally get what you're saying there. If you want a little bit of something, this line is probably wide, maybe a dog or pass type of spot, probably just a pass. Both these guys are solid. This is going to be a really fun fight, in my opinion. What do you guys think, real quick, if anyone can get to it? What about a total on this one? I honestly don't know that this fight is going to last very long.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Guru thinks that Johnson's going to get the finish. I mean, you can get Johnson minus 300, but fight to not go the distance is minus 185. So,
cover your bases for a finish the other way. I like it.
There you go. I mean, you're covering both sides of the, either guy gets the finish, you win. I mean, you could be totally wrong and Jose doesn't get it done, but Lawrence gets it done. You're still cashing that minus 185. Still a better number than that minus 300 on Jose. So, I don't know. It could be something to think about, but if you're going to do it, better do it now. We're getting ready to go here.
Yeah, we're about to kick off here. This has been a fun evening already. First fight got us a little bit warmed up. Second fight hit the afterburners. Let's keep this bad boy rolling.
Props to the chat, man. You guys are popping it off. We love seeing you guys. Odd Squad shout out, baby. We love it.
That's right. Thank you all for spending the evening with us. We're hanging around that. We're bouncing between 240 and 260 live. So thank you all so much for spending your evenings with us. We very much appreciate it. How's everybody doing? All right. I'm just catching up on the chat here. All right. Let's go. I am pumped for this fight.
Yeah, I just got a feeling seeing these guys come out, this is going to be action packed.
Jose Johnson repping Dominican Republic flag, but I think he's born in Michigan, isn't he?
Yeah, dude, I was going to bring that up. That threw me off because I literally had no idea what country's flag that was, and I didn't remember him being from somewhere exotic. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think he'd be the second guy in the UFC behind Alex Garcia, the Dominican Nightmare.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if who was it? I think Peter Sabata came out with the Jamaican flag. I don't know. Guy didn't strike me as a Jamaican, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I read that. Yeah, go ahead, Guru. You got it.
That's you were saying you did it for a world peace, right, or something like that.
Okay, well there you go. Cool.
Yeah, he was saying like if I rep, I don't know. I guess it makes sense to them for sure. You can see it through history. He's like, if I rep the Polish flag, then my German side's mad. If I rep the German side, the Polish side's mad. He's like, I just don't want to make anybody mad, so I'm gonna rep Jamaica because it's like one love.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
It's not as bad as Mike Perry repping Jamaica, so I'll take it.
He's 1% African American, isn't he? What was his
1%, baby.
I think it's
Was that what it was? It might have been
2%.
2%. It might have been 2%. It might have been 2%.
2%. Don't sell him short. I mean,
Yeah. You know, I remember
Don't
that
sell him
Instagram video. Good old Perry.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. So I need everybody to rub their hands together, send some well wishes. The Spirit Bomb, if you don't mind. My Flyers, I'm sorry, not my Flyers. My Islanders are down 2-1. So I'm hoping for the comeback here in the third period. So if anybody's on Clint's degenerate hockey watch, that's where we're sitting at the moment. Here we're kicking off this fight. I'm excited.
no
Both
doubt.
guys trying to take the center of the cage. I love seeing that. We're ready to go.
I don't know if you guys noticed. I don't know if it was like a Muay Thai type thing or going on there, but it appears that Jose definitely cast a spell on the octagon.
He does that every fight.
I think I'm liking his chances now. So let's see what happens.
Man,
all
that's like Israel Adesanya doing the Naruto thing when he comes out at the beginning. I love that kind of stuff, man.
I do too.
Nerd culture on the
more
rise.
Theatrics. I love more theatrics in MMA.
I miss GSP with the headband and the gi. Like I know the Reebok kits look slick, man, but I do miss the personality embracing.
So do I.
Man, nice guard work here from Johnson. I don't like seeing him on bottom, but he popped out there for a second, got it right back. Good butterfly hooks.
One thing I had noticed. Yeah, one thing I had noticed from Lawrence is that like he's a traditional striker, but in a lot of his fights, he tries to get the fight to the ground. He had like sneaky setups to it. So the loss in Bellator, obviously against Steve Garcia, he tried to get the fight to the ground multiple times. He just couldn't. But that last fight against Garrett Armfield in LFA, like that's where you see he can strike right to his takedowns really quick. And that's the one worry about Johnson is he gives up takedowns so easy that he's going to be playing guard a lot. Now, can he get up and land a flying knee at any point? Yeah. Can he get up and land one of those crushing elbows at any point? Yeah, but hopefully his cardio can be a strong 15 because he's gonna be playing off the guard. I think a little decent amount here.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks like he hasn't had much trouble getting back to his feet so far this fight. I keep trying to say game. He's got a sweet little get up game on him.
That's the one thing when you're that tall, right? Like you can just throw your legs up, like create scrambles. Is it hard to get up? Yeah, but he's only 135 pounds. Like he should be able to get up no problem. But it's so tricky when you have long limbs, right? Like you just don't know. Even up kicks, everything.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
He got it back though. Nice little scramble to get his guard back. Got one hook in.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Guru, how do you feel about butterfly guard, man?
I mean, I think it's good to get back up your feet. It's better than him freaking doing this body lock in the guard. He's just laying on his back when he's doing that. You know what I mean? Like
how do upper level fighters still do that, man? Like we see it every time, and someone like locks him down from bottom. You're not putting pressure on anybody. There's no submission from there, and you're just sticking yourself on bottom. How do they think that's an okay strategy?
Clint, man, I honestly think like if you're putting a body lock on from bottom, I think that immediately disqualifies you from calling yourself an upper level fighter. You know what I mean?
It should.
I've never seen, like, I keep waiting for that moment where I see someone put a lock on from bottom and then they do something with it and I go, oh, that's what everybody's always been trying to do, but it never happens. Uh-oh.
Took his back.
We're at 202, 201, 2 minutes, 159.
There we go.
There you go, Jesus.
Oh, you got
Hope that helped out.
There we go.
All right, now I'm going to need Lawrence to start slowing down here because he's been a bat out of hell so far.
Yeah, Lawrence.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the difference what we were talking about earlier. A guy that fights every 2 weeks as opposed to a guy that's taking a big layoff. Like he fights all the time. And cardio doesn't really seem to be a problem.
Those leg kicks are starting to do some damage.
Oh yeah.
He has heavy leg kicks. I mean, you could see it on tape. Oh, we cut him open with that elbow, though.
And
yeah, he's bleeding
Johnson's
now.
got those John Jones, those skinny legs.
He cut him pretty good. That looks like
it's starting to swell too, pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, that leg kick is nasty for.
That leg kick is so nasty.
Perfectly.
He's gonna get the takedown. Shoot. Come on.
Man, we might have an upset on our hands here, guys.
One round, bro. Bro, this is the way this sport goes. You just gotta next round starts backstanding. And the round after
absolutely.
that, if you get there, starts backstanding. And one crazy scrambler transition and it's over. Like That's why you gotta fight the whole way through. But hey, dude, honestly, I don't mind Lawrence.
From what I've seen on the tape, though, Lawrence can do this the whole fight. That's kind of where I'm coming. Is
he's got good cardio, man, for sure.
He's got great cardio, and if he's got this kind of output, if he's controlling this much of the fight, I don't expect him to slow down.
Right, but one thing is that cut is going to become an issue. The eye is swelling, and that's just one round worth of damage. So if these takedowns start becoming, yeah, if the takedowns start coming a little bit slower, then he's going to be hurt. You guys already hit your one underdog on the card, so I got to hit mine. Come on, Ronnie Lawrence. God damn.
Well, I want to cash my parlay though.
Clint's got a little dog action on Jimmy Flick. It sounds like too.
Yes, I do.
That's pretty even money, eh? That fight's as even as you can get, it looks like.
I got in early, though. I got the plus 145 on it.
Oh, good. There you go. That makes it a little more worth it.
I wouldn't like it nearly as much at even money, so I got the plus 145. And like I said before, I'm on half units here. I've got a plus money parlay for a half unit, and then I've got Jimmy Flick at a half unit. So worst case scenario, I'm down a unit on the night. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, that was definitely an easy round for Lawrence, though.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's pretty obvious, Lawrence. And shit, the Flyers scored again. I'm probably just going to go ahead and stop watching the score on this hockey game.
Oh, no. Dang it.
Yeah, you know what? He's been having a lot of success because the leg kicks actually were badass, and then the takedowns were just. What did he go 4 for 5 for takedowns in the first round?
At least,
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean they're there whenever he wanted them, and his striking didn't look completely out of sorts, but he did get smashed with the elbow. But whatever, it's punchy, kicky. You're gonna get hit a few times.
Thanks for hanging out, Michael Lunday, my buddy. If you can get plus 280 live, I wouldn't hate a little poke on it because, like Cody said, this is MMA, and we got 2 more full rounds going here.
Yeah, plus 280 is crazy. This looks like it's a very close fight. First round, for sure, you go Lawrence, but I'm just hoping that Lawrence just goes right to the takedowns. 4 for 5, right? Now you know in your head, like, oh, they're there? They're there
like
that
easy?
easy?
Think, A. Miller. Oh, man.
What do you guys think about the spot of that cut? You think that's going to keep growing? You think it's going to creep closer to the edge of his eye?
Oh,
I think if he was getting beat up pretty good, it'd be a problem because then they start paying more attention to it. But if you're dominating a guy and your eye starts to swell shut, they give you the benefit of the doubt.
what was the one? There was a fight about a month ago where I felt like it should have been stopped for excessive bleeding a long time ago, and they just kind of let it go. Shoot.
Yeah, I remember Molly McCann versus Priscilla. No, was it Cachoeira? What was the fight? Her eye just got completely mangled shut, and it was like,
and she won the fight.
Right, because they were like, man, she's easily up 2 rounds. She's easily up 2 rounds, so like, just let her continue. You don't want to. Screw
I'll be honest.
I
was on Molly McCann that night. I would not have been above a doctor stoppage, and I'm like, bro, she can't even see out the eye. Like, if Molly McCann does anything right now, she gets a Dr. TKO stoppage to win the fight.
Well, I think it's those New York doctors. When it's a New York event, it's like and I could be wrong, but it seems like when they're in New York and a fight gets stopped and the doctor comes in, the fight's over. Those doctors are like, well, there's a reason you brought me in here. Oh, yep, that guy's eyes closed. I'm gonna go ahead and wave it off. You know what I mean? Like, now I don't know if that's
New York is so sketchy, man.
Yeah.
You know,
New York had the one boxer, I can't remember his name, but he died under their commission or whatever, and they got sued for like a lot of money. Like they lost the lawsuit too. So after that, they're super safe on everything. But
I'm all for fighter safety, man.
Like that. You guys remember Pearl Gonzalez? She tried to fight in New York, and they were like, "Whoa, you got breast augmentation."
Yeah.
I forgot about
Is that
that.
a problem? They're like, "Oh, what if it pops?" And she's like, "Is that a problem? Like, do you not understand how this works?" But,
Well,
they wouldn't let her. I think they eventually let her, but at first they were like, "No dice, no dice."
That was a big deal. I remember that.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Everyone learned to lie about the implants.
Yeah, just say, "Yeah, that's all me."
No,
Don't check my Instagram. They've always been this big.
yeah. That was just jumping up a weight class, homie. I was strawweight before. I'm a flyweight now.
Good call.
Man, I don't know. Lawrence is still going back to the takedown, but it looks like Johnson's able to keep it standing a little bit more.
Lawrence is getting
now.
tired because he's hustled up all those takedowns, and Johnson was actually pretty fresh, man. Yeah, Johnson's not
landing
looking
some
tired
elbows,
at all.
landing some
Uh-oh.
knees.
I believe that. Oh wow. Okay. I was just getting
You
ready
can
to say-
feel the tide.
good
You can feel
elbow
the tides
inside.
start to turn. every
Now he got him down again.
That's what he needs. He needs to slow this thing down, man. Just get takedown.
Bring on the tide. Come on.
I'm sweating Lawrence hard. Come on, Ronnie. Ronnie from Nashville.
Oh,
Now the question is,
he's gonna get swept. He's gonna get swept.
how do you score this round? Because so far it's been all Lawrence, but Johnson is the one landing all the damage.
Yeah.
This is where, for me,
Real
I
close.
value wrestling. I value cage control. But what's the tipping point? Like when you grapple somebody for 3 minutes and don't land a single punch, and then the other guy smashes your face a couple times in the last minute and a half, who won that round?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we all love a sport where 3 people get to write down any number they feel like on a piece of paper with no repercussions, and we all just move on.
Some of them while they're texting.
Johnson isn't gonna win this round now, though. He just got taken down again.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think so. I don't. He'd have to hurt him.
Every
Lawrence is
takedown landed
tired.
chips away at that.
Oh, Lawrence is going for this guillotine. I don't think that's a good idea. He's gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay under. End up on bottom for me.
Yeah. Now he's on bottom.
Just stay there, though.
Still a tough round to score, though, man. I feel like Lawrence has done enough, even if this round finishes with Jose on top.
Oh,
See, and that's where,
is going
man,
for an arm.
I can't.
man.
I have a hard time with this situation
This
because
is a close round, man.
the MMA purist in me is going, yeah, man, the cage control, the grappling, the wrestling, but I'm like, this is a fight, man. Only one guy's been punching anybody, and he's
Right, but-
ending the round on top.
Sure. So that goes by to how do these guys actually scoring it? Because MMA is a new
Oh,
sport. How do
belly
you find a
down.
judge? How do you find a judge that's got MMA experience? Instead, it's like, oh, dude, this guy used to be a kickboxing champion, so he knows what a fight is. Oh, this guy over here, Brazilian
was
Jiu-Jitsu
close.
black belt, world champion, knows what he's looking at. This guy over here, D1 All-American. He knows. So now those 3 guys watch the fight. Well, the D1 American's giving it to Lawrence. He took him down.
Yep.
And the
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu guys, he could be giving it to Lawrence too, but he threw up a couple submissions there. Didn't submit him with the armbar. Try with a little triangle there at the end. Didn't really get that either, but he's throwing them up. The boxer or the kickboxer, oh, buddy, all day. Johnson's kicking his
Only one
ass.
guy's getting punched. He won the round.
Right, so is there
Nah.
2 striking judges, or is there 2 grappling judges, or are they all the same? It's a mixed bag. You don't really know what you're gonna get. If
Yeah.
I'm looking at this, see, I'm subjective here because maybe I got Lawrence. I got Lawrence 2-0. Realistically, if
so
they
do
end
I.
up, if Johnson comes out and wins the third, and they end up scoring it a split for Johnson instead, am I gonna scream robbery? That's not the definition of a robbery.
True.
Diego Sanchez, Ross Pearson, that's robbery. I see close fights all the time where people are like, no way, man, no way. It's like, yes way, it was a close fight. That was the close
Yeah.
round. You can see it going either way. Would I score Lawrence? Sure. Could I see it getting scored Johnson? Sure. But I think whoever you are, you're fighting hard in this third round.
Absolutely.
Diego Sanchez, Michelle Pereira, that was a robbery.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a felony.
Dude, I said it on my podcast this week because it's a Michelle Pereira fight week. The big reason I am negative units in 2020 is that fight. I went so hard on Pereira.
Imagine having a bet on Diego Sanchez and watching that fight feeling like a complete utter moron all the way and then cashing that bet. It's just I've never had even remotely close had a bet like that. You know what I mean? So
Yep. A gift from the gods to cash that ticket and just walk
Absolutely.
away light as air.
A gift from the gods is we need Ronnie Lawrence to just here, baby.
Oh, we got a potential arm lock situation. Good reversal. Yeah, Johnson's got to do something here, though,
Yeah.
man. This is going to be Lawrence all day if he doesn't.
He's looking
do
demoralized just
exactly,
because
Cody.
he wants to be off their
Body
back
language
this
from
much.
Johnson is absolutely horrific right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not even fighting anymore. He's just accepting position.
You know what? I watch fights with my dad a lot, and sometimes same position. The guy just looks demoralized on the ground, and my dad would be like, "Man, you should just stand up." The guy looks dead. The problem is, the second you stand up, you're just reinvigorated. Like, I can breathe again, and they swing wild. And that's the problem. Is that Lawrence has got time to work on the clock. Like, you got an early takedown. You got to control the guy for a long time. If at any point Johnson gets up, he looks tired on the ground. If any point he gets up, I can assure you he's going to be swinging.
Oh,
And the way he's been getting up every time throughout this fight, he gets taken down, he gets back up, he gets taken down, he gets back up. I can see him getting taken down a few more times in this fight, but I can see him getting up a few times in this fight.
And Sean, I just want to acknowledge it. Leg kicks absolutely count, my friend. Absolutely. And we've seen in 2020 the officials and the referees, they are counting leg kicks, I feel like, this year more than ever. I mean, we've had a couple of fights that people have screamed robbery on because guys have landed significant amount of leg kicks, and the casuals don't think they're doing much, but we know they're scoring.
Oh, they got to be horrendous. I mean, let me ask you guys something. Would you rather someone hit you as hard as they could in the arm or as hard as they can kicking you in the calf with all your body weight on it? You know,
Right.
I mean, it's like we see how effective these kicks are. We've seen fights that are over in the first minute because someone lands 3 hard calf kicks, you know? So what I can't figure out is why did it take 25 years of this existing for people to realize kicking someone below the knee is far more effective than kicking them above the knee?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's because you got to aim it lower that the guy can just counter off you. But it's fun. That's a great point. Why did it take 25 years? Here's one. Really think about this, right? Why did it take 2,000? No, I don't know. How long has the planet been alive? Been around, right? It took until 1993 before they start to figure out how two human beings fight, right? Like
True.
we know more about hand-to-hand combat now than we ever have in the history of the planet. Like up until then, they were meeting in a field with knight armor on. Like now you can just fucking shoot a takedown, take the guy down, and smash his head in with a rock. Like what's all this armor gonna do for you? Like it's crazy. So the sport keeps evolving. So now it's just like, oh man, you can low calf kick. Oh man, you can do this. Oh man, like it's just whatever. It all goes around. When I used to watch MMA, like when I used to kickbox and do all that, right? The two things is like, man, it just goes back to basics. Nobody jabs and nobody fucking leg kicks, especially that calf kick. So you can win just on a jab and a calf kick. Nowadays, it's like I can't even go to the gym and compete with these kids because like everybody jabs and everybody calf kicks. And it's like now, and then the teep, same thing. Like nobody used to teep kick, right? Now you try to like close the pocket and they just fucking hoof you. Sorry to swear. I don't know who's watching. They just hoof you one right in the chest. It's like, it's so demoralizing. Like, man, I just can't close the distance on this guy. But it always evolves, right? The Muay Thai guys like, oh, that doesn't work. Then you realize, oh, dude, the elbows from the clinch, you know, like striking off the clinch. Nobody strikes out of the clinch. Like, why is that? And now you're seeing like, oh, it's a free punch every time. Like, it just keeps going around. That's why like the top coaches, they like recognize that. They see the patterns. They see like how it goes. And I can't even imagine what fighting is going to be like 15 years from now.
Man, and you just gave me a perfect segue there, Cody, because I want to ask this. So, like, when you go watch, you know, fights that happened 20 years ago, and the way technique and just the ability of fighters has changed so much, do you think in 20 years we're going to look back and watch fights in 2020 and laugh at what these guys are doing right now? Or do you think the sport has evolved up to a point where obviously there's going to be changes, obviously there's going to be growth, new techniques? Or do you think that we're closing in? Like, are we closing the gap? Do you think that things are only going to be 10, 20% different instead of like 80% different like they were when the sport was young?
Yeah, if the money gets better, the sport will get better because you'll just get better athletes. Like, I watch old fights all the time. That's what I do. When I work out, I put on old fights. And I'm actually rewatching Tough 6 right now. Ooh. And just like this level of striking is awful. The level of wrestling is awful. The jiu-jitsu is awful because it used to just be like, oh, you're a tough guy. You want to fight? Then come on down and fight. And they got thrown in there. By the way, I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat being all over Johnson saying we screwed up. I took Lawrence. I just want to throw that out there.
Yep. Cody Saftic does it again. My parlay goes down in flames.
You guys had Knight. I did not have Knight. You guys all hit that
I did not
dog.
have Knight. I passed on that one.
I had nothing on this one.
I needed a dog to get back on here. Anyways, it is what it is. But yeah, going back to the question, you look at fighting from just 10 years ago and it's just like, oh man, this is low level. Oh man, this is low level. Then you start seeing the guys that were top wrestlers. And this is no offense to these guys, but like Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes is the top wrestler. And then the next generation comes in and it's, you know, Josh Koscheck and Johnny Hendricks. And these guys, like, I'm telling you, it keeps getting better. Now you're going to get better athletes. You're going to get wrestlers that wrestled at a higher level. You're going to get boxers that box at a higher level. You're going to get guys that were good college sports athletes or similar to, geez, I can go to the NFL, I can go to the NBA. These guys that don't go to the NFL or go to the NBA can be like, geez, you know what, I can fight. I'm a great athlete. I'm going to take my talents there. They're not going to be like, oh, there's no money, there's no pay. The sport, if money comes to the sport, you'll get better athletes. Better athletes come to the sport, you'll get higher level training. Higher level training comes to the sport, you're going to get fights where you're just like, oh, man. And then the last point I want to say is, the skill level is better now, right? But if you go back 10 years, it's like, oh, man, if you fight in the UFC, you're a badass. Nowadays, everyone's just like, oh, man, everybody fights in the UFC. So the skill level at some points really hasn't changed. I see fights in the UFC all the time that are just as bad as they were 10 years ago. But the highest level has just – the champs from back in the day wouldn't be able to hang. It is what it is. I'm sorry to say it. I'm one of those guys that thinks if Khabib goes up to 170, he beats GSP. And I'm Canadian, and I love GSP. And he's the man, and I get it. And I think he's one of the best all times. But, like, I'm a realist, man. Like, the game evolves. And yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's going to be scary to think. The other problem is that who was fighting MMA as an 18-year-old kid back in the day? Like, very few people. Now you got kids that's like, oh, I put my kid in jiu-jitsu when he was 4, and he was a BJJ black belt by the time he was 18, and he started boxing at 14, and he wrestled on the high school team. He wrestled on the elementary school team, or I don't know what they call it in the States, grade school. And then middle school, I don't know, and then in high school, and then in college. And then, like, it's just crazy. And you're going to have second-generation MMA fighters now. Their kids are coming up through. Like, who's a super badass prospect is that AJ McKee, right? But if you all remember his dad, Antonio McKee, Mandingo Warrior, oh, shit, this guy was the man. People said he was boring, but he was just way too smart. Realized you didn't have to fight like a dummy. And then you just see the kid, and he's like, oh, man, AJ fights super aggressive. He can be tactical, but he's also just got, like, that back pocket I know how to secure around. And I just feel like it keeps growing and growing and growing. This is a good fight. You had one fight. You had Ronnie Lawrence, who had took a lot of time off. So people are thinking, he took 3 years off. But again, we talked about he was young when he took the time off. So what improvements did he make in the last 3 years? His last 2 fights, again, there was the 2 best fights he ever looked. He had moved from a small little gym in Tennessee to American Top Team in Florida. Like, he's doing all the right things. Whereas Johnson, you see him all the time. So you feel like you have a better read, but there's still the unknowns. The unknowns of these guys haven't fought 5 times in the UFC. I can go to their tape library. I can see them fight top 15 competition. I can see them fight. So it's just like you got to go to the regional scene and watch them fight guys that 2-2, 3-3, 4-4. Like, how do you gauge that? This guy's got sick knees. He's got sick elbows. Yeah, the other guy's a punching bag. Like, who hits the punching bag and looks bad? Nobody. Everybody looks good hitting the bag. It's when the bag hits back, all of a sudden, it's like,
yeah.
Dynamics, right?
No doubt. No, that's for sure. I mean, you brought up the point, like, it makes me think, which don't get me wrong, this is 10 years ago now, but, it was the season of The Ultimate Fighter where we had Kimbo Slice and Roy Nelson. There were like
heavyweights
guys on that show who were like, well, I'm 34 years old now. I think I'm going to try to transition to MMA. Like, that's just laughable even right now. You know what I mean? Like, the concept that a guy that old in life would be able to pick up enough skills in a year and a half that this guy's like, a UFC rostered fighter. Don't get me wrong. There's gifted athletes and really smart guys who are going to pick stuff up. But, it's going to be interesting. We're just seeing the first few guys. Don't get me wrong. Maybe not the best example of Edmund Shabazian, being as he just got smashed. But, we're seeing guys who didn't come from a specific discipline and transition to MMA. They're being brought up as children doing MMA. And I think that's going to be a big step and turning point in the game where you see guys that just have it all. And everybody's going to have it all, because if you don't, that's going to be the weakness. That's the chink in the armor. Your opponent's going to know, and everyone's just going to have to get far more well-rounded.
Speaking of chink in the armor, I had no idea Ronnie Lawrence could grapple that well for a full 15 minutes. Props to you guys cashing in on that. Let's work on my last bet and the next fight. Hopefully I can cash this one so we can squeak by and not lose anything on the night here. We've got Jimmy Flick taking on Nate Smith. Guru, why don't you kick us off with a little breakdown here, buddy? What do you think on this fight?
Yeah, it's a good fight. 2 grapplers. Flick obviously, has way more experience, and it's funny. I mean, he's been asking to come on the Contender Series for a long time. I think like 3 or 4 years. You saw after his last fight on on LFA where he won the title, he was like screaming. There was no fans, so you could hear it. You could hear everything he was saying, and he was super pumped up for Dana White to give him a chance. And he's jumping in here. I think on short notice. Nate Smith's supposed to fight somebody else, but it's going to be a grappler match, like I said. I mean, both these guys on the feet don't look very good. Smith is more athletic, but he just leaves his chin out there. I think Flick maybe is a little better on the feet, but I think it's going to go to the ground. And I mean, Nate Smith is probably the better pure wrestler. I think he, placed at Fargo. He had, pretty decent wrestling credentials overall. But on the ground, he looks pretty good. Also, he's a purple belt. He uses good ground and pound to create his submissions, create his ability to pass, things like that. But as an amateur, he got submitted, I think, 7 or 8 times. And Jimmy Flick is a guy that's, very crafty on the ground, good wrestling, good grappling himself. He got like a 30-second submission with the arm triangle in his last fight against a 10-1 guy. So I don't know. It's an interesting fight because I feel like either guy could get on top, dominate, get a submission, get a finish. But I'm going to pick Jimmy Flick. I just feel like, he has more experience. He has never been submitted, whereas, like I said, Smith got submitted a lot as an amateur. So I also saw Smith get taken down a couple of times versus his last opponent. He kept using a guillotine instead of defending the takedown. So I'm going to bank on Flick to maybe catch a submission here, but I think either guy could win, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree, man. This is a really close fight. And going against the Elevation Fight Team, Ryan talking about it here, one of my favorite gyms of all time.
Yeah.
I love Elevation Fight Team. I think they're doing some great things right now. I'm just not quite sure this particular kid is quite ready to go. He does make some mistakes, and I can see Flick taking advantage of that. So Just Bleed, talk about it, buddy. What do you got here?
Yeah, man, another fight that it's tough to get the read on, It's like Guru was talking about, I'm not kidding you, Nate Smith. I was just talking about how Jose in the last fight had an extensive amateur career. Nate Smith, this guy fought a ton of times as an amateur as well, and the thing that jumps out at you is he's losing consistently by submission. So, you look into the career of Jimmy Flick, another guy that when he's losing, he's getting finished, So I'm saying to myself, man, maybe we got a prime betting spot here. Fight does not go to decision. No, it's been crushed. Fight goes to a decision is plus 240. Fight does not go to decision minus 320. And we're talking about small dudes here. I mean, that's pretty rare. I don't really have a strong lean on this one. Flick opened as the minus 165 favorite. He's plus money now. Feels like maybe you're getting some value. I know you guys are on Flick. That always makes me feel better. You know what I'm saying? Once we got some smart guys willing to take it. But man, this is another one. I'm just gonna have to pass. I don't have a strong feeling either way. I really, like you brought up, Clint, man, Nate Smith coming out of Elevation. Elevation is on fire. Like, they gotta be in the running right now as the most dominant camp in 2020. I'm trying to think who's done better. Who has done better than Elevation this year? Do you guys think of any camp that's more on fire?
Jim O, but I mean they don't have as many high-level names.
Yeah, Jim O. I mean, Jim O's won 3 fights in the last 2 weeks? That's pretty impressive. But you're right, they don't have this deep a roster, but nonetheless, very impressive. But I don't know, man. Total pass for me. I feel like Flick, you're probably getting that value. The odds makers think he should be the favorite, but hard to go against an undefeated prospect with that much experience coming out of Elevation. But I don't know. I just don't have a strong lean. I'm gonna totally pass on this one.
All right, and Cody, talk to me, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Nate Smith on this one. Jimmy Flick,
Damn you.
Listen, Jimmy Flick can pull it off. He has got one dynamite submission game, but he's a career overachiever. Yes, he can pull off that submission. Probably gonna have to get it done within the first round. After that, I think he's got a bit of durability issues. I'm very, very, very familiar with Jimmy the Brick Flick. Been following his career for a long time. I actually offered him a fight in 2014. I just seen it right here. It was in April 2014. Hey, Jimmy, my name is Cody Saftic from Substance Cage Combat in Canada. Do you have any interest in possibly fighting May 30th in Toronto? He replies, depending on pay and opponent. Spelled depending and opponent wrong. Adrian Woolley, looking at 1,500 plus 1,500, 2 flights in a hotel. Yeah, it seems like small money. Actually, that's a lie. It was 1,500 plus 1,000, 2 flights in a hotel. Small money. But yeah, at the time, he was only I think 5-1, and we were going to fly him out to Canada, have a fight, whatnot. Since then, because he didn't end up taking the fight, but since then, I've watched him throughout. And again, at his best, he's got some big wins. His win over Johnny Bedford in specific, the LFA fight, it's like, man, he pulls off a guillotine in the 3rd round. And that's crazy for him because he's not a guy that's known for cardio. The longer the fights go, the more he gets beat up. In fact, Bedford's own prodigy, Levi Moles, had defeated him just a year prior. But then his losses, Chris Gutierrez, fights in the UFC now, Shark Bait. Not really known for his power outside of those leg kicks, as we talked about. He TKOs him in the 3rd. Ray Rodriguez, kind of a journeyman opponent. He TKOs him at 15 seconds into the 2nd round. But his wins, 1st round submission. His last win, LFA, wins the LFA title, 38 seconds into the 1st round. He could definitely land that submission. He's fought way better guys than Nate Smith. He has a better grappling game than Nate Smith. His problem is He's not a great striker. So if this fight doesn't hit the ground, he's not going to outstrike Nate Smith for 3 rounds. As far as him needing Nate Smith to get tired, Nate Smith training at elevation with the likes of Justin Gaethje and Drew Dober and Corey Sandhagen and the whole lot of great guys up at elevation, doesn't figure to get as tired. So maybe, okay, can't strike with him. Okay, I got to get him to the ground so I can use my superior grappling. Well, it's going to be hard to get this guy to the ground because, yes, he's wrestled collegiately, but also he was on the junior Olympic team for Greco-Roman wrestling. Like, that's his strong point. And Greco-Roman, not probably the better style for MMA. I like freestyle, being able to dip and shoot those double legs, but it's that over control. Just get a single collar tie, batter on the guy, one overhook, one underhook, control him. And that's where I think he's going to have a lot of success. Nate Smith's just a stronger guy. If Nate Smith wants to take Jimmy Flick down, he can, and just pound him. Jimmy Flick's going to be wiry. He's going to throw up those submissions. But listen, as far as submission game goes, you always want to be on top. You don't want to be relying on submitting guys off your back. And Jimmy Flick's a guy that's got a lot of guys standing up. He also beat a really good friend of mine, Jameson Saudino. This was 2 years ago. And first round, Jimmy looks good. Second round, Jimmy gets mad tired. And Jameson makes one small mistake, and Jimmy catches him with a shoulder choke. Jameson's a black belt. That's a nice submission win. That's a good submission win. But it's the story of Jimmy Flick. So anyways, got Jimmy Flick on Facebook. Really good guy, but he works a full-time job. He won that LFA title. He was the hero of his town. He goes into work wearing the belt, and he's got the LFA, gave him some swag, gave him some masks that had the poster on. He's on the poster. He's loving it. And then the UFC right away, quick turnaround, says, hey, do you want to come fight Nate Smith, 3 weeks? So now work has to give him a little more time. Now he's going to come all the way back. I just get the feeling that Nate Smith's the play here. If we were going to get a big price on Jimmy, that'd be one thing. But, I mean, geez, it's pretty well chalked as a near even money fight. So I got to take with a more rounded prospect here, Nate Smith. Hope that experience is not the problem, but he's just way more physical. I see him getting the job done.
Okay. So I got in early on Flick. That's kind of why I like my spot there. Can't fault you for taking the other guy when it's at a pick'em price here. As we know, this is a betting show. It's all about that line value. Everybody do us a favor. Smash that like button. And we're going to get right on into this thing. This is going to be an interesting as hell fight. And hey, quick little degenerate update. My Islanders are back from the dead, being down 3-1. It is tied 3-3 with 2 minutes left in the game. So your boy's not dead yet. And let's go Jimmy Flick. Save my Contender Series night so I can at least get out of here with a push. Big leg kick from
Jimmy's leg kicks. Yeah. Flick's
and answer too, yeah.
It might be. They might be
down.
right. Yeah, they might be right about Smith's leg. That was a weird reaction to
Okay. I want to talk about this for a second. So people in the chat were saying something about Smith having a leg injury. And did you guys see there was somebody who posted a Reddit thread saying that they noticed Sean O'Malley limping before the fight. I don't know if you guys saw it going around the internet, but
on top. Or, I mean,
they were posting something about Sean O'Malley limping or having maybe an injury before the Chito Vera fight, and then sure enough, he gets his leg kicked out from under him. Did any of you see that, or can you comment? Because
I didn't see it.
That had me scratching my head, man. I'm like, I watch these guys walk around at weigh-ins, I watch all that stuff, and I didn't pick up on that. For someone to be sharp enough to go, I think he's got a leg injury, and then hammer Chito on the betting line because of that read, like, whoo.
You know
and
what?
I'm just trying to talk to keep my mouth from foaming right now because Flick's in the right position.
Flick's going for a leg lock.
Flick's ground game.
I don't like him rolling to the bottom, though. I know he's sick on the mat, but I don't like him taking the bottom. I wish he would have stayed on top.
Yeah, I don't know why he rolled for a leg, but
well, he's got that arm. He's got that arm trap too.
Oh man, that's
the problem with grapplers, man. They're too confident to go to their back sometimes.
It's a weird position. It's like
it is
real weird.
Nice elbows though. From these bottom elbows are actually pretty sharp when he's hitting them. But he's like
he has the arm trap too, Jimmy.
Is he going for like a slicer or something here? Like
yeah, or I don't know. It's like he's going for a almost real like
he's doing something. I don't know what it is.
He's trying to get the head though. I'm starting to believe in this grappling advantage though. The way he keeps attacking here. Look at that arm. Look at that arm. Come on, let's go, Flick. Let's go, Flick. This is filthy.
He's going
this is nasty. Snap it. Snap it, baby. How is he not tapping?
He's got him in an inverted triangle now too. Whoa.
It's like an inverted crucifix.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Holy crap! How is Smith?
This is a
still
fun
in
fight.
this?
This is a fun grappling.
Oh, that might be. That's locked.
Get the neck. Get the neck. Get the neck. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. Tighten it up. Give me the win. Give it to me.
It looked like he went. That
Come
was
on.
weird.
Come on. Turn the corner.
Come on, Flick.
Come on, Brick. Which, by the way, he messaged me on Instagram. I'm officially IG fans with Flick, so.
Oh, man, Nate Smith is tough, man.
That's not why I bet on him. I know I can hear your fingers going in the chat already. That's not why I bet on him. How is this man surviving these attempts?
Oh, he's going for a guillotine.
Yeah.
He's got the power. And look at that float, man. Going from guillotine bottom to back control, like with that roll, Flick is so sick, man.
Oh, he's going for an arm and guillotine.
This is just disgusting grappling right now.
It's just a weird setup to that guillotine too. The way that he with the
Smith's a survivor, man.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, Flick looks badass with all this grappling, but you gotta admit, Smith's defending everything.
Yeah,
he's
man.
He's got a way out of everything.
We can't take anything away from Smith right now. Surviving this kind of offense, that's next level.
If Jimmy doesn't submit him, his arms are going to be flat gas.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be rubber. He's probably put a lot of torque on this, although I can see Smith being out of air too.
Yeah, this pace can't keep up.
Unless Nate Smith can do something to get it back, it'll probably be a 10-8 round though.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with that. That's a 10-8.
I gotta ask, are judges scoring these grappling offenses? Is it going to be a 10-8? I feel like they're going to rob my boy and give him a 10-9.
I mean, he almost finished him multiple times, man.
I agree. I just feel like the judges are going to go, hey, I didn't get him, 10-9. If you swell somebody's eye up, if you drop them, they'll give you that 10-8. But a lot of judges, I don't feel like, are savvy enough to understand the submission offense.
Yeah, I agree with that, but Vegas has been a lot better. Nevada has been given a lot of 10-8s when there are those dominating positions. Even you look at that Cody Durden versus Chris Gutierrez. It's like he didn't even do any damage. He didn't even try many submissions. He just held on to his back. Got a 10-8 in that first round.
Smith is exhausted.
Looks like he's tired.
Smith just threw the worst flying knee I've ever seen.
Yeah.
We got to give props to Dontel Jackson in the chat because he absolutely said that the leg was hurt right before we got this thing going. So
yeah, man,
he may have been onto something.
He's right. It's his striking looks horrible so far. I don't want to jinx it.
Wasn't hurt coming in. I think it's hurt now after eating those calf kicks. So
yeah, man.
If it wasn't hurt before, it is now.
That's a 10-8 for me, but like you guys are saying, maybe it'll be a 10-9. But
I'm with you on the 10-8, man. I feel like that should be a 10-8 round, and let's see what happens here in round 2. Let's see who can dig deep, who's got the gas left. I'm not even going to bother asking the chat who won that round because really, if you didn't score it for Flick, you're probably new to MMA and we can educate you.
Even if you were new to MMA and they're just like, who do you think won that? You'd be like, I'm pretty sure the guy in the gray trunks.
The guy limping back to his corner.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, again, MMA's 3 rounds and Smith's definitely going to have to make some adjustments.
I wonder if he's going to try to, I don't know if he even wants to get on top of Jimmy, though, and the striking doesn't look very good. So.
Matt going one step further. It's a 10-7.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Very
whatever the criteria for the 10-7. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, Smith has still got some pop in his hands, it looks like. That body kick's working for Flick, I feel like, though.
Yeah.
I think Flick's just biding his time. He's got way more gas in the tank than him.
He's not breathing hard. He looks like he's pretty solid right now. That's comforting.
He's like the striking is so awkward for both these guys.
Ooh.
Like Flick is throwing these flying Superman punches.
Flick's man, it's almost like Tim Elliott, like just such awkward timing, awkward movement. You're like, this guy shouldn't be doing that. How do you counter the man when he comes in with a bomb when you have no idea why he's moving that way?
Smith's got a good grip on his Kimura.
Defend
he's
for
going to
him.
end up in mount.
Right in mount.
I was going to say, hard to finish from mount bottom.
You could get arm triangled by doing this. The cage is kind of helping them where they're at, though.
I hope so. Come on, Flick. Save my night, buddy.
That's another weird ass position that they're in.
So I'll give you guys a fun little tidbit. There's a purple belt at my gym that makes me feel a lot like Smith. I just get absolutely ragdolled, thrown around the mat. And I'm a blue belt. This is back when I was in shape. I know I'm out of shape right now, but like when I was in shape, I was a half decent grappler. She weighed 100 pounds soaking wet. I had this purple belt that was the most badass chick I've ever met in my life. I've probably got a full foot of height on her and at least 100 pounds. And she threw me around the mat daily.
Smith's got this triangle.
Yeah,
Get your head out of there for me, Flick.
It looks like he's got a hand in it though. Yeah, Flick he'll be able to breathe from here.
Yeah.
And because he's crunched up against the cage, he won't be able to get his hips free to like create that space he needs.
I still don't like it.
No, but if Jimmy just stacks him, he's gonna be all right. Stacks him and just chips away with like short elbows and knees and stuff. But you gotta stack. That's the main thing.
Smith's grabbing that knee though.
You could see it's loose though.
Yeah.
Dad, don't be putting your toes in the cage.
He's trying to adjust it. Yeah.
You could try to switch to an armbar, but I don't think he doesn't have the angle really.
Come on, Flick, get out of here for me. I just don't like it. I don't want the danger. This is this right here is how my Contender Series fights have been going, guys. Last week, both of my fighters I feel like were taking over the fight, doing exactly what they needed to, and then they got caught. That I'm just gonna stop betting Contender Series. I'll give you my reads. I'll tell you what I think. I'll do the research. But I keep getting burned here, so hopefully Flick pulls this out.
Well, it's hard to tell, man. They're all prospects. Like none of them are. Listen, and no offense to either of these guys, none of them are ready for a UFC contract. Like as good as Flick looks like, what happens when he gets stuffed in a takedown? He gets stuffed and he has to stand up. Like his stand-up hasn't looked very good. The problem is that Smith can't stand up as well. Like they're one-dimensional skill set guys. Smith's a wrestler, Flick's a grappler. Grappler's beating the wrestler here pretty handedly. But
we see so much variance in MMA, and I try to tell people, a lot of people, all of us here as sports bettors have heard the haters online when you have a bad night or something like that. There is so much more variance in MMA than any other sport. And then when we're dropping the level to guys like this that aren't even at the pinnacle of the sport, there's going to be more variance. So
absolutely,
we're essentially degenerates for betting on this right now.
I can give a good argument for that. I would agree.
Smith's submission defense is pretty impressive though, man.
It's on point.
That's true. But unfortunately, if your submission defense is the best thing you've pulled off in a fight, probably not going very well for you.
Big ground and pound from Flick now. Now he's finally throwing shots from top.
40 seconds.
Oh, he's going for a belly down armbar.
It's not Herb Dean, is it? Get me out of this round. Get him out of here.
Man, Smith does it with a tap, man. This is nasty, dude.
He knows what he's here for, man. This kid is still.
He's going for an omoplata now.
How is his arm doing that?
He got a triangle locked in now. Fuck, man.
Oh, Flick, just don't gas on me, dude. Just don't gas on me.
Now.
These are 10 rounds, the first and second.
His arm had to have popped.
Oh, he might survive, though.
I saw it pop. His arm definitely popped.
Yeah, he had it fully extended.
It looked like his elbow bent the wrong way.
Don't gas your legs, Flick. Just don't gas your legs. If we can't get the finish here.
I want to see how he carries
2 seconds. 1 sec. Holy crap, man. Holy crap.
Man.
How is this kid still in this fight?
I don't know.
I got 2 10-8s for Jimmy, though, so. But
at this point, I won't disagree with you. Why not? Let's 10-8 him up.
Oh, yeah. Smith needs a finish, and I just think he's way too exhausted. Plus, how is he going to get a finish? He's not going to take him down and submit him, so he has to knock him out. Has he looked like he can knock out something?
As he landed,
striking's just no good. At least it's not ready, anyways.
What is going on with this? Oh! Okay.
I would feel a whole heck of a lot more comfortable if that fight was over and he won by submission there.
Yeah. Man, I don't know how he did it.
The flexibility just
it was crazy. He went to the omoplata right after, when he felt that he just switched. That was a nice transition.
Hey, I got a fellow Clint here in the chat. That's a rarity. That's a rare occurrence right there. Flick does have some sick BJJ, my friend.
Wow.
Danny giving it 10-7 and 10-6.
Whoa.
Well, 10-5 is the only logical way that this third round's going to go.
Oh, Flick is tired now too.
Yeah, that's that triangle win. Triangles are so
that
exhausting.
front kick, man. Flick should just take him down. Screw this, take him down.
You guys, I'm like, I don't want to watch right now. I'm doing this.
That's what I thought was funny too. When did you guys notice when Zach Cummings landed that head kick? He got hit like real hard right before, like kind of rocked, and he was like laughing, and then he threw the head kick and basically.
I'll be honest, man. I thought the flurry from Di Chirico sealed the round. I was literally texting, "We just did enough to win the round," and then boom.
Yeah, I definitely had it 29-28 Di Chirico with 4 minutes and 59 seconds left in the third round, but
I legitimately feel like the head kick did it.
I think the head kick swayed it for me. I mean,
one guy gave Zach a 30-27 though. That
was BS because there's no way possible that Zach could win round one. Just end of story. Like even without the head kick, round 3 was close.
Yep.
You could say that Zach won round 3. I'm not going to fight you on it. So you could do 29-28, but the 30-27, he must have been texting. That's not a valid scorecard.
I feel like we see a phenomenon in MMA where a guy wins later rounds. It's like the judges will go back and erase the first round that clearly the other guy won. Like, I feel like first rounds are continuously scored more incorrectly than other rounds. Like, you'd think these judges have to be writing the score down after the round, but I swear some of them are like, let me get a read on the full fight before I decide how that first round went. You know, it's very strange. So
I would love to have like cameras over the judges' scorecards so we could see. Because they should be scoring each round after each round and not making it up off their memory going back 3 rounds. But I agree with you, man. You got to wonder sometimes. And then there's like, I know I mentioned it before, but the Andrea KGB Lee fight where the guy was literally like talking to someone off in the stands and then on his phone like mid-fight, like you can't have that shit. There's got to be some kind of repercussions.
Absolutely.
Under the neck? Are we under the neck?
Oh, just keep striking,
Not quite.
man. I don't know
Not
why.
quite.
He could finish this guy with ground and pound.
Honestly, man, with how tired this guy is, I just want the win. Just grind it out, Flick.
Yeah.
Just grind it out. Both of them are tired now.
Marty just stays here. I mean, why put yourself at risk? The fight's over on the scorecards.
He ate that front kick and went, nope.
Yeah, he smiled. Was just like, all right, I'm taking him back down.
He wants that finish, though. You know, you want that finish. You want that contract.
He's
Well,
going
Clint
for
was a good call, man. Because
he's going for the arm triangle now. I think he's got it. I think he's got it.
Yep, there it is.
There he goes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's over. Nice.
There we go. There we go.
Flick,
He's pumped up. Shit.
Don't call it a comeback.
Well, I tell you what, congrats to all the Flick bettors out there. Good move, because he's clearly a class ahead of this other guy, no doubt.
Yeah.
Unless Nate Smith just, I don't know, maybe whoever talked about the leg injury was right, but why Nate Smith would go in there on an injured leg, I'm not sure, but maybe he thought he was good enough to beat Jimmy Flick on one leg. I don't know, but.
Now it's like Smith is like talking to Dana White now or something. I don't know what he's talking about.
He's like, man, my leg hurts, man. Give me another shot.
Yeah, no kidding.
Man, it was my leg, man. Come on.
Dang, my leg hurt.
He's like yelling at him through the cage like he has something important to tell him. I don't know what he's saying now.
Man, Sean O'Malley's leg was hurt like mine. You give him another shot.
Ooh.
Jimmy Flick like walked up to him too when he was talking, so maybe he was saying something like that.
Damn.
Well, we'll call it a successful night right there, ladies and gentlemen. I made about 0.2 units on the evening,
Woo!
So
better than losing, baby. You were
pretty.
on that one. It was a good call. I was way off. I honestly thought that Smith's wrestling was just going to he'd be able to keep the fight if he wanted, and that he'd be a better striker. He was taken down. Like, here's a guy that actually has wrestling credentials. Jimmy Flick took him down. Jimmy Flick beat him up standing. Jimmy Flick tried 35 different submission attempts and made the 36th one stick. Like, he scored a 10-8 in the first. He scored a 10-8 in the second. He's on his way to scoring a 10-8 in the third, and then stops him for good measure. Like, pretty complete performance. He'll get the contract, and well deserved, man. He proved me wrong. That was a quality win for Jimmy.
Yeah,
That was great. I can't wait to message him on Instagram. My 5 minutes of fame right here. I can connect with him.
Like you were saying with the Greco-Roman wrestling, man, he didn't. If it was in the clinch, maybe he would have had more success with the wrestling. But looks like maybe he's not as good with the wrestling with like on the legs and shit.
The other thing too is he let Flick like dictate the action in that he didn't see his best weapon is his wrestling, right? And he was a decent grappler. Like if you watch tape on him, he's got good submission offense. But just fighting off all those submissions, clearly the guy knows how to grapple, right? But he would let Jimmy take him down, and all of a sudden he's on his back fighting off submissions. Where it's like maybe he should have tried to take him down, hold him down, neutralize him, tire him. It probably wouldn't have made a difference. Jimmy's better than him in every aspect of a fight tonight. So quality win.
Yeah.
Agreed. And that brings us to what appears to be the main event of the evening here. We got Dennis Buzukja taking on Melsik, and I'm not going to try and say his last name. I don't have a play on this one, folks. I am leaning to Dennis. He comes out of that Serra-Longo fight camp, and I really like how they're looking right now. I know Chris Wyman barely survived his last fight, but he's training with guys like Merab and Aljo, and that's just a good place to be. His opponent, he's a serious high-level striker. He's been striking his whole life, but he also is trained by Edmund Head Movement Tavarian.
Oh.
So, got questions surrounding that one. So I'm going to go ahead and lean on Dennis here, but I'm going to take my 0.2 units and run. I'm not putting anything else on this fight. Guru, as is tradition, my friend, lead us off.
Yeah. This is a weird fight. I mean, I couldn't really find many fights of Melsik, like MMA fights, and all of his fights that he's won in like under 30 seconds or real quickly. So he hasn't really had that much cage experience in MMA, and he did get submitted one time. I really have never seen him grapple, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I assume he's probably pretty green as a grappler, and his striking looks really good. I watched a couple of his, kickboxing Muay Thai fights, but I don't know. He's not like a super, super dynamic guy to me. He's more of like a Muay Thai striker, flat-footed, good counters. But I feel like I don't know. I'm just going to go with Buzukja. I watched his last fight with Dueling. He's kind of more of a striker as well, but I just feel like he's fought decent guys. That the Dueling guy that he was fighting was actually giving a good fight to Bill Algeo, hurting him a couple times on the feet, and Buzukja was able to outstrike him, walk him down, kind of wear on him. And, with, like you said, training with Aljo, Merab, all these guys, you have to think that he's going to come in here with a good game plan, maybe try to mix it up, grapple with Melsik, and I don't know. I mean, Melsik could come in here, get another quick knockout. He could be the real deal. But with all those quick finishes, hasn't really fought anyone. I'm just going to favor Dennis here. I think he's at a better camp too. So no play for me, but I do think Dennis will get the win.
All right. Just bleed, buddy. What you thinking?
Yeah, man, Guru hammered on a lot of good points. The thing with Melsik is, man, like the thing that I can't get over is the fact that it's like, the dude wins a fight, but it needs to be under 30 seconds. You look at, his first professional fight, he lost. I don't know if that went to a decision. I'm going to assume it probably did. I mean, it seems like the game plan for Buzukja is stay away from this guy the first minute, grind him out, drag it out past the first round, and who knows what this guy looks like outside of the first minute of a fight. I feel like also, he's an Armenian guy. He's training with the Shabazian brothers. I kind of feel like this is a thing we're seeing with that camp. The Glendale dudes, like, Edmund being a good example. Really good, really strong round one, but take him beyond that, and it's not the same guy. I'm kind of leaning, kind of getting a similar feeling that we might have the same thing. That enough, paired with the fact that Buzukja is training out of, Weidman Longo, I just think he's going to be the far well-rounded dude. The guy that's, won fights by decision, the guy that's finished fights. I just think he's the more well-rounded guy at minus 130 where he sits right now. I think that's not necessarily a bad play. I mean, it's, going to be Buzukja by decision or Baghdasaryan probably getting it done early. And in a situation like that, I'm going to lean Buzukja. I'm going to pick Buzukja. I think I'm going to go ahead and put a unit on Buzukja here. So let's go Buzukja. Make me a winner on the night. Come on, baby.
All right. I like it. Cody, round us out, buddy.
Yeah, I got to go with Buzukja as well. Just Melsik Baghdasaryan. I think he's probably a great striker. I think he's probably the more technically refined striker potentially, but this is all you've seen. And this has been his career. He had obviously lost that MMA debut back in 2014, 6 years ago, right? He loses by armbar, minute 26 into the first round to an opponent who is 2-4. Right after that, he was like, man, this MMA thing is not for me. I don't know how to grapple. I'm just a striker. So he turns pro boxer. He actually went 3-0 as a pro boxer and then decides, you know what? I'm more of a kickboxer than a boxer. I'm going to do kickboxing. Goes to kickboxing. He looked okay. He obviously most notable for competing in the K1 Grand Prix, but he just looks okay. His power doesn't look overwhelming. Decent punches. Really seems like more of a boxer than a kickboxer. You can kind of see it in his style, but decent body kick, decent power. Nothing to write home about. Doesn't look good against Yuta Kubo. You can watch that fight easily online. And then since he's come back to MMA, 0-0, 3-5, 0-0, 4-3. He beats all these guys in 7 seconds, 9 seconds, 14 seconds. So how could you gauge what he's got? But that's that. Now you got to think about, well, what camp is he at? And that's when it makes the most sense. Okay, he's with Edmund. The Shabazian brothers are both there. It's a camp that at one time had Karo Parisian, at one time had Manny Gamburian, at one time had a Ronda Rousey. But since then, it's all boxing. They've got pro boxers in the gym. Edmund himself is a striking coach. They mostly just focus on striking. There's no doubt that this kid's a striker. But you have to wonder, is he going to get tired after the first round? Can he wrestle? Those are all things you don't know. Whereas I think when you look at Denis Buzukja, he hasn't shown you anything resembling a ground game. All he wants to do is strike as well. If he comes into a gunfight with a guy quite literally named the Gun, maybe it doesn't go good for him. One's got to assume that being at a Serra-Longo, he knows how to grapple. Being one of the top training partners for Aljamain Sterling and Merab Dvalishvili and Ali Quinta and all these different guys, like, obviously his ground game has to be there, and that is the path to victory here. I think his striking is competent enough that he can stand striking with Baghdasaryan for long enough that he sets up the takedown, or just try to stay out of harm's way by using a more of a point style fighting. But I don't mind Denis Buzukja. I mean, he's 4-1. He's young. He's only 22 years old. He is not above going out there and laying an egg and costing us some money or not looking good. He's green. And that's the theme of Dana White's Contender Series. A lot of these guys are just green. You don't really know. He fits in the same category. But that being said, I mean, I haven't mind what I've seen out of him. He's actually like a big star in Albania. He's Albanian originally. He has like a huge following over there. He's on the news, and they always write these articles about him. And he's got 500 people flying down to the fight. They can't watch it in the venue, but like he's got a whole support group coming out to see him. The guy doesn't look too bad. He's already fought for Bellator. He was trying to get a fight with James Gallagher in Bellator. So, you know, he's punching upwards. He's trying to fight top guys. I mean, he's got confidence in himself. I don't think he's too bad. And then the last fight with Tim Dooling's like sneaky good. Got a bad record. You know, he's 9-6 at the time. But he's fought a lot of UFC veterans and has shown to have some durability. So I think that's a good gut check performance. Go 3 rounds. Start to get tired a little bit in round 2 against Dooling. But he pulled through. He persevered. He's going to have to do this here. It's not going to be a walk in the park. But I have to say that I got Denis Buzukja. And I seen fight goes the distance at plus 160. Maybe a small sprinkle there just because – I think the only reason that you think this fight does not go the distance is both guys just finish everybody. Both guys haven't really fought in great guys. They're both good strikers. If this is a striking battle between 2 good strikers, it could just be like a sparring session for 15 minutes. Plus 160 fight goes the distance. I don't think that's the worst price out there. But as far as a straight-up pick on a straight-up play, I think Denis Buzukja is minus 130. That would be fair for me.
All right. I'm putting the 0.22 units profit on the Buzukja, minus 130. We're either going home dead even, or I'm going to sprinkle just a little extra on top. Your boy's got to have that degenerate sweat. I'm pulling the trigger. I want to say thank you to our friend, The Boxing Plug, for catching us live for the first time. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. Michael Lunday, my man, rocking with me on the Islanders here in OT. I appreciate it. Let's win this last couple little bets here of the evening. If we're all on the Buzukja, I can't pass up. I'm gonna take what I'm up and I'm gonna let it ride. Let's see if we can do this thing.
Yeah, man. It seems like the whole panel is on Buzukja. The chat's on Buzukja. I hope he goes Buzukja and lands a rocket on this kid. Come on, let's get it done.
Thing I am nervous about is I did his one loss. I watched that fight with Nick Rodriguez or whatever, And the reason why I didn't play Buzukja is because he was getting taken down easily in that fight, like over and over. And that's how he lost. He just got out grappled. But that was a few years ago. And that guy looked like he was just like a pretty good wrestler. So it's going to be a different fight. But hopefully he can at least grapple this guy, Melsik.
That Nick Rodriguez guy, the guy that beat him, he didn't look too bad actually. Like he had a decent amateur career, but he beat Robert Hale, pretty good prospect. Robert Hale's a welterweight, so thinking back, it's like, you know what, the guy ended up fighting some big dudes. His one pro loss is the same thing. I think it's up a weight class, right? He lost to Nick Rodriguez at 155 pounds, and then since dropped down to 145 and has been flawless. So I think that one pro loss is the fact. Geez, I'm fighting up a weight class against a guy that was fighting at welterweight, who's a good welterweight with a better ground game. Lesson learned. I'm going to take
and
that.
He was only 1-0 too at the time. So.
Yeah, so I'm kind of writing him a pass on that one. But it is worth noting, that at least he has shown where his area to be defeated is.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I feel like the guy coming out of the Serra-Longo fight camp is going to have that ground advantage, and I do love that. So
yeah,
here's hoping. Here's hoping.
Yeah, you'd hope a guy getting into training with Aljo and Merab can grapple, right? I mean, come on.
Wouldn't be fun if you couldn't at the gym. Shit.
Yeah.
Even if you could grapple, you have Merab Davashi and Aljo. Like, can't grapple on this day, boys. Sorry.
You're basically the takedown dummy if you're in there with those two guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a Shark Tank. You just need a fresh body to go in every round. It's like, Dennis, you're next. Get up.
Head movement.
Head movement. No.
All right.
No.
Oh, no.
That's the greatest ending to a fight when he just
Oh my goodness, man. And get Edmund Shabazian off my screen. You burned me. I bought into you. I trusted you.
Yeah, yet again, another guy that burned me on DraftKings. If Shabazian
I went down with that ship, man. I put a big old bet anchoring on him, and I feel like an idiot for doing it. One of my favorite angles is fading people stepping up in a competition setting, and never should have trusted him at that price. Just a bad call.
Yeah, and listen, he could be good. He's so young. And Chase Hooper,
lots of time to improve.
All that good, but he's so young. Like sometimes you got to give these guys the benefit of the doubt that they could lose a fight here and still be okay. Like Dennis is still 22. If he goes out there, gives like okay of account of himself, you see it sometimes like the guys that don't get the contract on Contender Series, they come back a year or two later, and all of a sudden it's like, oh geez, they look a lot better. Then they do make the UFC. It's like, it's probably better you got signed now as opposed to when they would have just tossed you to the wolves. UFC's got to call. You win your first fight, you look good. You win your second fight, you look good. They're like, give him a title challenger. It's like, no, don't give him a title challenger. They're just like, let's see how good he is now. Like, man,
more than that, I was just ready to put Brunson 6 feet under, man. I was done with him. I was like, I think this guy's shot. He's done. He doesn't have it anymore. He's getting older. Like, it was a little bit of buying in on one side, and I was counting the other guy out a little too much too early.
Yeah, I've seen this stat. They're like, guys that dye their hair bleach blonde win like 92%. I was like, no effing way, man. And then he wins. I was like, oh no,
dude. It's almost like baseball stats where they're like every game played on a Friday. They're 9-0 on like Friday 1 p.m. start games if the sun is out. Like
baseball takes stats to the next level. Yeah, they're like, man, this guy's 3-2 on Wednesdays when it's below 7 degrees, and you're like,
yeah,
but 3-2 is not even. It's not even like, oh, he wins all the time or he loses all the time. It's like it still doesn't tell you anything.
They'll take it though. They dive in on it, man. They're like, oh yes,
there's an edge. Looking at the numbers, there's an edge right there. 3-2.
Well, I tell you what, win, lose, or draw, I just hope we get to see Ray Longo pull a Verdum and teep kick Edmund in the chest after the fight.
Classic.
I'm looking more for the Tony Ferguson ankle pick. Someone get ankle picks for me here. Oh, all right. It's like the smallest bet of the night, and I'm nervous because I want to win the last one.
Hey, put it all on the line. I like it. All on the line for the main event. Man.
All of it.
If anything, this is going to be a fun fight, man. Two strikers. They're young. They're hungry. Like, at least we'll get our entertainment. But, yeah, it'd be nice to get some entertainment and some money.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's always more entertaining when your pockets are feeling a little heavier, a little more jingly afterward.
Let's see if this lasts longer than 30 seconds.
on Twitter, people be like, man, that fight sucked. But you got the winning side. You're like, that fight went just fine. Like, I really needed him to hold him down those last 3 minutes. So
Hey, that's exactly why I bet Neil Magny, my friend. I bet Neil Magny religiously. It's boring and it's slow, and he just grinds them away. Holy cow, this kid is coming out hard.
Yeah, Baghdasaryan's hot fire, man. He's aggressive.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Like, will he be able to keep up this pace up? Because we've seen his camps kind of got a tendency to start hot and not.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This
Ankle
is
pick, Buzukja. Ankle pick.
He's throwing, man. Oof.
Yeah, this is already the longest fight he's been in since his last.
Yeah. It already went past 9 and 17
Oh
seconds.
man, he's throwing like heavy shots.
Those body shots,
in
man.
the clinch too. Oh, he hurt him. I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
hurt him to the body bad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Uh-oh. I think I lost my profit, boys.
Man, Dennis is composed. Like, he's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I think he ate a bad liver shot. He's still trying to recover from.
Come on, Buzukja.
There's so much pressure, but it's a 3-round fight. Like, he really just needs to get out of this round and then test this kid after that.
Oh man, dude, he's landing big elbows now.
Yeah, this kid is a sick striker, man.
Those are heavy.
Oh.
I mean, you're right, though. For taking this kind of a beating, the Buzukja is very composed where he's at right now.
Oh, he's getting smashed, but yeah, it seems like he's got his eyes about him. Like, he's keeping focus. He just doesn't know what to do. Like, he's trapped up against
He's
the cage.
returning fire, too. I mean,
he's trying to. He's just,
Oh man, that head kick was sweet.
Ooh. Thank God he blocked it.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah. Baghdasaryan, do me a favor and just slow on down. Get a little tired.
Yeah. That for sure. Listen, for sure, man, for sure. I think that's on the table for sure. But
Melsik.
Buzukja's got to take him down, or at least try. Like, at least try to change up the game plan a little bit here, man.
Melsik just took him down.
Reckless.
Oh, Melsik just took a deep breath too, though.
Yeah,
That's
I'm there's going to be a big adrenaline dump here.
Oh yeah, I mean he
Hopefully.
beat off on this.
This is going to be a 2nd-round finish for Buzukja after he takes a beating in the first.
Let's go. Are they going to give us a live line? Can we get plus 300 on the Buzukja?
Yeah, the right side of his body is just red, eh?
They've been doing live lines the whole night.
Oh,
Man, that body kick is nasty.
yeah. He's worked the body really well.
Well, he got off the cage for the moment. Oh.
Oh,
Kicked his
man.
leg out from under him for a second.
Man, that guy throws hard.
Jeez.
Yeah, but you can't throw hard all the time, you know? Like, even if you had great cardio.
He's second round.
He's loading it up, man.
Beach Boss knows what's up. Hopefully he'll get tired of beating the shit out of him.
Yeah. Hopefully
He's coming forward like crazy though. Oh man.
And this is why I passed on this fight, folks. This is why I originally passed on this fight.
Oh, big body shot from
Tired from beating
Melsik.
so bad though too.
This is a bad. Yeah, he's getting beat up real bad in this round.
All right, 10-8. But unlike Jimmy Flick, who just kept on going, baby. Baghdasaryan is starting to fatigue.
Yeah, you could see he's tired now. Yeah.
Buzukja's returning too. He's still coming forward.
Uh-oh.
Just to keep this guy honest, take him down once.
Melsik's trying to slap him with his lead hand. He's done it like 3 times.
Stockton slap.
Yep.
Stockton slap. The Edmund slap.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Not enough
because
head
he
movement.
Get on top of him.
Baghdasaryan hasn't really had to move his head because it's just him throwing shots the whole time.
Here we go.
Here we go. Turn it around, Buzukja. Turn it around.
Get that takedown.
If he can get on top at the end of the round, that'll be big to me.
That'll be huge.
Oh, here we go. He's gonna get
Baghdasaryan's tired.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Here we go. Come on, Buzukja. Show Aljo what you do.
Hey, kid.
Right
Yeah.
back up.
I don't know, man. Baghdasaryan that might be it. He might have emptied the tank.
He might have emptied the tank.
He has a minute to.
Ooh,
Tana Cypher's all over again.
Hannah Cypher's all over again. Live price after round 1. Ooh.
good fight.
Yep. Good fight. I like that we're going to round 2.
If
Yeah,
you
he's
can
got
like,
his hand on his hips.
I don't think it's a bad spot at all.
All right, so was it a 10-9 or a 10-8, chat? Let me know, 10-9 or 10-8.
That's a 10-8 in my opinion, man. Even
Greetings
with
from Argentina. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I love it when we get people from all around the world coming together to hang out. If you don't know, this is Odds HQ. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button. We are bringing you the best free sports betting content on the web today. Thank you for spending your evenings with us, Guru, my friend. I apologize for cutting you off. Go right ahead, my man.
Man, I don't even remember. I think I was just saying that I thought that it was a 10-8, I think, is what I was saying.
I
don't know
see
what you
focus in the eyes of Dennis.
Yeah, I do too. I want to see Baghdasaryan in his corner.
Yeah. Because, I mean, usually if you got a guy that's like rocked or he's wilted, you can see that fog. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He looked sharp in the corner, even though he was getting his welts on his face taken care of. He looked like he was there.
Wow. Baghdasaryan starting the round with his hands on his hips. Not a good look.
Let's go.
It's going to be up
Nice
to
leg
Buzukja
kick.
to put a bit of a pace on him, though, just to make sure. Because he won the first round so convincingly that you got to probably finish him now. You're going to get a draw.
Yeah, you gotta keep working on him.
You can't just sit here and pick away at him and hope to win 2 rounds.
Melsik is just throwing one at a time now.
Yeah, no more combos. Big. It does look like an adrenaline dump. He might be trying to take this round off a little bit.
And he's not moving forward at all.
See, Dennis should fucking shoot a takedown, though, man. Like,
I agree 100%. Listen, all this Baghdasaryan's been doing his whole life is striking. So even though he's tired, he's so comfortable doing just this. He does this all the time. This is
not a good call.
got to put him in.
It's the muscle memory. He can do this all day.
Yeah, exactly. This is just like, listen, he's been tired at the gym, and when you stand in front of a guy, he knows how to protect himself. He knows how to throw 1 or 2 and throw a kick and get out of dodge. But if you're Buzukja, it's like, listen, this guy's got a questionable ground game. I got him down at the end of the first. The only success I really had in the first. Don't drop this round too, man. You gotta push the pace and get on him.
Yeah,
I don't mind that body shot though. Trying to work the body, gas him out even further. I don't mind that strategy at all.
he shouldn't be playing on the outside, man.
Not at all.
He should get in the clinch or at least try to take him down. I don't think he's gonna knock him out.
No, not unless Baghdasaryan gets real tired. It looks okay now, but you can tell he doesn't quite. In the first round, he's just moving forward, throwing combos. Now it's at least he's trying to just stand there and paw away and throw 1 or 2. But this is where Dennis needs to start outpointing him, outstriking him. Take him down. Take down Dennis would be everything. If Matt Serra and Ray Longo are there cornering him, they must be losing it right now.
I don't think they are.
Well, that'd be a big part of it for sure.
Yeah, it's like he wants to trade kicks with this guy. Like, what are you doing, man?
Shoot the takedown.
This is bad strategy, is what this is.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, he's just trading kicks.
I do think he is winning slightly, but this ain't the game plan.
He's getting
Baghdasaryan
rocked though.
definitely getting tired, but he's landing the better shots.
There we
Like
go.
that body
Got him
kick.
clinch at least. Come on, man. There we go.
Do something, dude. There it is.
There's the hip throw. There it is. We caught up to you, Guru.
Down, bro. Come on. Take that back.
Crap. The Flyers won in overtime.
Well, then hopefully we can get that profit back here, but Buzukja's got to do something, man. Even with this ground game, he's just worried about him getting right back up.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't really do anything with the top position.
No, didn't do nearly enough with it.
But just that grappling exchange, you could see Melsik is tired right when they got back up.
Yeah, I honestly think Buzukja is going to do enough to take this round, and Baghdasaryan is going to be worse in the third round than he was in the second, worse in the second than he was in the first. He is running out of gas. That second round wasn't terrible. It's key that Buzukja wins it. Now our
Go
problem
for that trip. Get him down. Come on.
He has to finish him, though, I think, or it's going to be a draw.
Yeah, I got
I
plus
don't know.
160 fight goes the distance, so it's not looking all that good. But I would take a draw and the fight goes the distance and not lose money.
Hey, I would take a draw and I'll take my 0.22 units back.
Yeah. Baghdasaryan knocking out Dennis would be bad news.
Oh, he took him down. He's going to take him down again.
Yes, perfect.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell he's not a grappler, though, man. His top control is horrible.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Baghdasaryan doesn't get up when he wants because he's like, he can take you down, but he can't hold you down.
How do you come from the Serra-Longo fight camp and grapple like this against a guy that's got nothing to offer? How are you working with Aljo every day?
You know what a big advantage would be, too, is to have Serra and Longo in your corner. Of course, great cornerman. Have them in your corner when there's nobody else in the arena, because these guys talk real loud, and these guys are really confident. And imagine Serra and Longo, oh, he's done! Oh, he's done!
Yeah.
You got this, Dennis. You don't want none.
Yeah, dude, great impression.
Yo, man, this guy knocked out GSP. He knows who he's talking about. Yeah,
Matt Serra yelling gives me life. He's hilarious.
bro, for sure. If these guys are, even if they were in the corridor, you'd hear them very clearly. Around a small little area, you're around the cage. 100% would be a huge advantage to have them for sure. So not having, I don't know. Although I got this.
Good shot by Buzukja.
I got this 1-1 if it shakes out like this 1-1, but it could very well be that 10-8 in the first. So we'll see.
I got 1-1.
I got it 1-1 myself.
Both guys are so tired. I tell you what, though. Oh, they're yes, Edmund's slapping Baghdasaryan around. That's awesome.
There we go.
Head movement.
That always works, right, Edmund?
Yeah, you were winning until you stopped moving your head.
Like this, right?
Yeah. All right, Dennis. Time to show up in this third and do it.
Yeah, Al's popping off a very inspirational.
They've been loyal all night. We are all on Buzukja. We want to cap it with a nice little W. And poor Clint Flyers in OT. Devastating.
Man, I'm snake bit tonight. I had the Raptors, I had the Islanders, and now I'm sitting here trying to squeeze back a little bit of it here on this game. It's been one of those nights. It's all good.
Oh, I guess Aljo's in his corner. I mean, he should tell him.
Aljo's in there.
Fucking shoot a takedown, man.
Sure, yeah.
Oh!
It's like, dude, you've lost the majority of the fight except for when you take him down. Just throw out there and take him down. He's real tired. You're probably making
being more active, that's for sure.
His issue, though, is if he gets a takedown, he won't be able to hold him down. So do you exert yourself for a botched takedown, or do you stand with him for the first 3.5 minutes and then try to get a takedown with 90 seconds left? Because then you can help that takedown. It's close round. The takedown seals it for you. You got to take down the first 30 seconds. You got to take down the first minute. By the end of it, they don't remember that. Unless you held them down the whole time.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Melsik is winning this round to me so far, though.
So far, he's starting much hotter.
I think he's going to keep slowing, though.
Oh, good. He went for a takedown at least. Going for the trip.
Oof. Yeah, Dennis is the one starting to look fatigued now.
Yep.
He took a lot of damage.
Baby.
Yeah, he took a lot of damage from that first, for sure. And then the second, I mean, he took him down 3 times, but that's a lot of energy right there. Aljo's got to tell him to dig deep.
Ooh, nice.
Good.
I
don't care if it was a slip, but that's gonna look good.
Right after, though, he just got rocked with that straight. Man, Melsik is digging deep right now. He's going. Forward.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a close fight. Wow. Let's go, baby Buzukja. Whoa.
You got to stop backing up, dude. You got to get forward.
Back kick to the body. Yeah, he has to go forward, man.
I know it's not enough activity, DC. I know. Tell him.
Tell him. You're so close. It was a good second round. You got to keep it going. Oh, my God. He's just so exhausted.
Yeah.
What was that, man? What type of takedown attempt was that?
Botch.
Oh, no. Roll on top. Get on top. Yes. Keep him down. Drag him down. Shoot. He doesn't have the energy.
I know it.
How do you give up that transition and just get walked over to the fence? Crap, man.
He's exhausted.
He's so tired right now. Buzukja's not going to be able to pull this out for us, I don't think.
Oh, he's going for the body lock, but no, he's too ugly.
He's too tired, man.
Yeah, he's just real tired. It's an MMA fight. Anything can happen, but he is just running on fumes.
Yeah, he doesn't have what it takes to knock this guy out on the feet, and he's out of gas to get him to the ground. There's just no way it's not going to happen.
He's got to come over.
He's got an arm. He's got an arm.
So
He's got an arm.
Oh,
Come on, do it for me, Buzukja.
Oh, shit.
Do it for me, Buzukja.
Break it.
Come on.
Break it off.
Break it. Come on.
Break it
Get
off.
it. Get it. Get it. Oh, he lost it. He's still hanging on to it, but it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Come on, readjust it. Readjust it, man. You're a Sarah Longo guy. You should know how to do an armbar.
He
That
almost
was his Hail Mary.
At least he's fighting for us. At least he's fighting for my sprinkle money.
That could help him get the round, maybe. But
Yeah, I mean, that's, to me, the most significant point of the round so far.
And he got the knockdown. He had that leg kick that stumbled him for a minute.
I don't know. At this point, I just needed to go the distance. I'll take it.
Cody made the best bet of the fight here on this one. Going all three. That was the best way to go.
I think you're cash money on going the distance.
Oh, yeah. Do you see the
even if
sweat?
it
Do you
gets-
see all this sweat running down my face? Going the distance, but they hit each other 300 times. That was a crazy man.
It was a good bet
yeah.
anyway. I mean, regardless of cashing or not at this point, it was a good bet.
Well, winning bet is a good bet, but my God, both guys certainly slang for it.
Yeah, they did.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to score this one against Buzukja.
Yeah, I think Melsik won.
At worst, it'd be a draw if he did get the 10-8. At best, he won fairly.
I don't know if they're
convincingly on the
given
scorecard.
10-8, but yeah.
I thought he won that third round pretty clearly.
Dang.
Man, I don't know. I think they could give it to Buzukja, but I don't, dude. I think 29-28 somebody, but I don't know who.
It looked like he got rocked a few times in that third round. His body language was just he was tired. He had his back against the cage for the majority of it. He had a good leg kick, and he had an armbar attempt that was the armbar attempt was his best moment. But does that undo the getting rocked a few times?
I don't know. He had
his leg pretty
a couple
bad.
good leg kicks that at least put what's his name down onto a knee. So, man.
We'll see.
Solid main event. Solid main event for Contender Series. This was fun. Either way it ends up.
Dennis definitely took way more damage than Melsik, though. He got beat up
Oh,
really
yeah.
bad in that fight.
For sure.
He definitely got hit a lot in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I do think it's pretty clear Melsik decision, in my opinion. There'd have to be some questionable scoring, I think, in order to give it for Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I can still hope for questionable scoring to cash my
Hey,
ticket.
listen, we've seen far worse decisions. So
I preach that I want good, solid, fair scoring in the UFC until I need the judges to bail me out, and then I'm all for bad decisions.
and it never seems to work out, does it? It's always
No, I'm always on the wrong side.
Looks like it's a split decision.
Hey,
Yeah,
I like hearing those words. That gives us a chance. I still don't think it's coming, but I got the shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
30-27. It's definitely going against
Yeah,
Buzukja.
Melsik won.
30-20.
Unanimous.
Obviously, damn.
Oh,
Unanimous.
I was trying
Dang.
to read girl's lips. I was way off. I thought she said it was a split decision.
Dare to dream. Nobody had a first round 10-8 though. I mean, it was 29-28, 29-28, 30-27.
That's too bad. Well, shouldn't have done it.
Son of
Should have taken the money and run.
You know it.
Well, the good news is we can at least try to rebound on this upcoming UFC card. The bad news is Contender Series not exactly a great first night for us.
I'll be honest with you guys. I am fine just having that little sprinkle that gave me some entertainment to cheer for there on that fight. It was a hell of a fight. Not that I needed it, but I'm okay with breaking even on the Contender Series and saving my bullets for Saturday because I've pulled the trigger in several spots. I've got several bets I'm liking on Saturday. So, do we want to talk a little bit about maybe our action for Saturday, or do we want to try and predict the winning of the contracts here for the Contender Series?
Well, I don't know. Who do you guys think is getting a contract?
It's a good question.
Looking at it, I'm thinking they're gonna give one to William Knight, even though you could question the elbows. It's like you knock out a guy, an undefeated prospect, in the first round. This is your second crack at Contender Series. I think William Knight's getting the contract. Ronnie Lawrence, I think, is gonna get the contract. He was a big underdog. Looked actually pretty good. You know, he was more of a striker, but he was wrestling really good against Jose Johnson. I think Jimmy Flick gets the contract. I think Melsik put on an absolute striking clinic, right? But, I mean, he got tired pretty quick. His ground game, Buzukja didn't really try to push that issue. I'd like to see this kid come back and at least have another Contender Series fight, maybe against a more of a grappler, just to see how he does in that domain. And then Tucker Lutz comes in as a 5-1 favorite and nearly gets submitted in the third round by Chase Gibson, who took the fight on short notice and is a 45er. I don't think Tucker Lutz gets the contract. I don't think that Melsik Baghdasaryan should get the contract. I agree that Jimmy Flick should get it, and I can see Ronnie Lawrence and William Knight getting them as well. So I think Dana hands out 3, and it'd be those 3.
I'm
3 for 3 with you. I agree with every single thing you said.
I do too.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give Lutz a contract or Melsik. I'd be surprised. So
I can see Melsik getting one just because they'd say, "Oh, well, he's a striker and he's got the Ronda Rousey angle," and just like just like Edmund Shabazian. Oh, here's a good prospect. He's entertaining. He's young. We'll bring him to the UFC and give him some matchups. Like, it could get you caught. Like, why is he there? He can't grapple. But you give him the right opponents, you know, he can have some fun fights. I can see him getting in that regard. And it was good for him that I thought he lost a second. We thought he lost a second. 2 judges thought he lost a second. So he was fighting for it for the third. It was 1-1 on 2 of the scorecards. He did what he had to do. He pulled through. So that's not terrible. Like, I could see you rewarding him for that, but I'd say a developmental deal is way better. You know, like, keep these guys. Don't let Bellator sign them, because if you don't sign them, they probably will. But keep these guys in the near pocket and let them fight in LFA. Let them fight in CES. Let them fight wherever. Get a couple more fights. Have them under contract, and then you can bring them into the big show.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Those 3 I see getting the contract. Maybe Dana gets a. I don't know though. How do you argue? I don't see how you argue a contract for a 4th guy though. The first fight and the last fight were just too close.
I mean, the way Dana's been doing is he'll just be like, "We're giving out 5 contracts. I've only done this 9 times, but this is the 9th time that we're doing this. Everyone gets a contract." Also, 3 of those guys, they're booked for this Saturday. Yeah, we had some guys cornerman test positive, so these guys are coming in.
They need bodies.
Holy shit, dude.
I thought it was weird last week though. They fucking they gave like Huck Body and some other people contracts that I thought weren't that good. And then they didn't give a contract to Romero. I was like, I don't know about that.
I felt like they did Romero dirty there, man. I really thought he was getting a contract.
There's been some quality guys that don't get signed on the basis he's like, wasn't even trying to finish him. It's just like, what? Yeah. And then you get these other guys that it's just like a sloppy all over the place, falling over. And it's like, oh, man, that Brendan Lucane, him and Chris Curtis, like, man, these are good fighters, putting on good fights, and didn't want to sign them. And then you see some of these other guys get the contract. Like, I don't get it. Yeah. But they just need bodies, right? They got so many shows. They got so many fighters pulling out. They can't use half their European talent because of the pandemic. It's like they don't care. They're just going to fill spots.
That's what it comes down to, for sure. I really think Knight's getting it, man.
Oh, Knight.
From his body language, it looks like he's already like saying he's got it.
Yep.
Well, they did the developmental deal with him, and he got another win on the regional scene. He got another win on the Contender Series. They're not going to make him go back to the well one more time.
Yeah, you know, he's 32 as well, so it's not as if you could be like, oh, yeah, he's getting better, he's making improvements. It's like, let's bring this guy into the fold. And honestly, like, he's got some skill, right? Like, yeah, it's the Derek Lewis effect. Derek Lewis wins fights, you know? Like, this guy, depending on how they match him up, he could have some entertaining fights, but I think the best performance on the whole show is probably Jimmy Flick, who just literally for 15 minutes, his striking wasn't great, I get it, but we kind of knew that, but like for 15 minutes, this guy just tried everything. He tried
Jimmy
so
Flick
many
did the
attempts.
damn thing.
Yeah, exactly. You know how good it must have felt submitting him in the third round? It's like yeah, I knew I was gonna get one of them eventually. Like, he just kept chaining submissions together. It must feel good to find. Oh yeah, I knew I could submit this guy.
Yeah, his cardio was really good.
Yeah, man, that was fun little fight for sure.
I think Ronnie Lawrence for sure is getting one too, especially such a big underdog. That was really impressive. Ronnie Lawrence looks like he could be like the Pettis brothers' cousin.
I can see it.
Yeah. I hear you there. Eh? He's got that look
not
to him.
Stylistically, but you look at the guy's face, man. You could probably tell me that he is a Pettis brother. I might believe it.
How long until we see both Pettis brothers in Bellator?
6 months.
Sergio's actually going to have a decent Bellator run. I think if Anthony comes over, he's just loses. I don't think at this stage he's got it.
I think Anthony is past the prime at this point. I think it's a downhill slide from here, unfortunately.
Definitely.
Yeah, the other
Not that it
problem
hasn't
is,
been already.
is they'd bring him in the fold and they'd be like, oh, I don't know, do you want to fight Benson again? Or do you want to fight if they retain Chandler or someone like that? But Pettis don't want to fight at 55, man. He wants to fight at 170. He's undersized. He just doesn't want to cut the weight anymore. He's getting older.
Yep.
That's how he is. And the problem is that they'd give him like MVP. And as much as it sounds like Anthony Pettis would beat him, he would. He would. And if he fought Lyman Good, he'd get killed. And if he fought Andrei Koreshkov, he'd get killed. And you know what I mean? Like, these welterweights are just too big for him.
Absolutely.
He was lucky to squeak by Cerrone, man.
Yeah, I don't even know who's at 155 at Bellator. Even I don't even know who's because Chandler's not even there anymore. I guess like Patricky Pitbull.
Patricky, yeah. You know what? Let Patricio fight at every weight class. That guy is bad.
There you go.
Man. Holy. You know what? There's very few guys that I'm like, God damn, I wish the UFC had them. Because you got to spread the wealth. And UFC's got most of the good guys. Like, I don't think Chandler would hang at the highest level in UFC. I really don't. He's a little bit older. He's a little bit fragile. He's just got like injuries that'll pop up during fights. And UFC's got just a tremendously good 155-pound division. There's very few guys that you're like, you know, Patrick Mix. I'd love to see him. AJ McKee, we talked about him earlier. I'd love to see him.
That kid's sick.
These guys in the UFC, I think they do good. But this is the situation where it's like, oh, man, I really, really like to see him in because I think he does some serious damage. Bellator's got 4 or 5 guys like that, right? It's just how you're going to match them up. Vadim Nemkov at 205, be a great fit for the UFC, right? Problem with the Pettis brothers is Bellator likes that better. If UFC approached, remember how they did that trade, Demetrius Johnson for Ben Askren? If Bellator approached them and were just like, yeah, we give us Anthony Pettis and some other old-timey guys with a name that you don't want to utilize anymore, a Shogun Hua and an Anthony Pettis will give you a top prospect because they can't market these top prospects. They have better results being like Friday, Matt Mitrione. It's like, holy shit, Matt Mitrione's fighting still? Not going to do any good.
There we go. Like, Knight got it.
Yeah, well deserved. Well deserved that Knight gets it.
Yeah, did you see what Vanderlei was advertising? It was basically a Bellator fight night. It was like you say
the Vitor Belfort, Vanderlei. Who else was on that thing?
It was a bunch of old guys. He was trying. It was Shannon Briggs was gonna box somebody, and it was funny though. I think Fedor versus Fabricio Verdum was on there, but I don't even.
Yeah,
know.
it's all rematches. They look like good rematches though.
Did he was calling it something? He was like, I don't remember, but I think it was a bare knuckle boxing or something he was trying to say. But
yep, there we go. The big underdog on the night. Lawrence got it. Not surprising.
No. So now we need. Too bad you couldn't bet on who any of the contract.
Yeah,
we were talking about that, man. Like a week or two ago, we were like, "Why are there no lines on who gets the contracts? That'd be so fun."
Yeah, if they don't get Flick the contract, that'd be bad. I would feel bad for him, man.
He'd cry, I bet, and I would feel really bad for him. Like as I mentioned, I thought he was an overachiever. He's a guy that's had some ups and some downs. He's beaten some really good guys. He's lost to some fair talent, but like he deserves this, man. He's put the time in. Look at his record. He's got fights. You look at this is headline in the card, right? 5-1 versus 4-2. That's Melsik versus Dennis Buzukja, right? It was actually 4-1 versus 4-1 coming into the fight. That's Nate Smith. He's 6-1 now, right? Ronnie Lawrence, 6-1. Cody Brundage, 5-1. William Knight, 8-1. Jimmy Flick's got 20 fights, man. He deserves this, man.
Flick got it. Flick got it.
All right.
Dana said they were going to invite the other guy back, the Nate Smith. They're going to bring him back and give him another shot on the Contender Series. That's good to hear.
Well, yeah, well, you know what? He might have said, hey, man, I took this fight, my leg's bummed out. And they might be saying, hey, dude, he fought 3 rounds. All right, he fought as much as he could into the 3rd round with a bum leg. You know what? If you can notice it on the TV, we had, as you mentioned, somebody pointed it out. If you can notice it on the TV, like, imagine seeing this guy in fight week and at weigh-ins and walking around the venue. Like, you'd probably know he's got a bum leg on him.
Yeah, and
you'd have a better indication, anyways.
Jimmy calf kicked him right away, like the first 5 seconds into the
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
Jimmy probably would have known too, you know?
Yeah.
I think he did.
Yeah, I've seen that on the regional scene, like, you know, lower end fights at the weigh-ins. You just see the guy who's with his girlfriend, his buddies in the back. It's just like you see he's got like a noticeable limp to him. And the savvy veteran guys are like, oh man, just put a little limp on, make them think that something's wrong. But it's like the human body, like eventually you just slip up. Like you can't just pretend to limp all the time.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I remember when Giga was fighting against Jamal Emmers. I went to that weigh-in, and I saw Emmers like after the weigh-in like limping around, and I was like, I don't know, I didn't think anything of it at the time, but I mean that fight I still thought he won, actually, to be honest with you, though.
Me too.
I thought he did too. I can't wait to fade Giga Chikadze. He's on my fade list. I'm gonna get him one of these days. You watch.
Yeah, Melsik
All
didn't
right.
get the contract.
So I think that's it, right? He didn't give the last kid a contract there. So that pretty much does it here for the Contender Series show, boys. That was an absolute blast. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for hanging out with us. Do us a favor, like we said, share the show, hit the like button, subscribe over here to Odds HQ. We've got a ton of shows and content coming out for the rest of the week. I believe my boys are doing a Friday show. Cody, is that right?
Yes, that's apparently the plan. Obviously, we got to discuss, figure it out, something that works best. Obviously, we've got Contender Series, and we got the Friday show, and we've got all these different things that are happening. So, yeah, well, I honestly had a really good time talking fights with you guys. Clint, I know we have a little bit of rapport, but it's just been a really great time working with, obviously, you guys see their handles there, Just Bleed and MMA Picks Guru. It's been a really good time, man. As I said, I always kind of wanted some buddies to hang out with, watch the fights, and you know what? It would have been a little bit nicer had we capped off with a win, maybe had a couple different bounces, but that's gambling. That's fights in general. That's c'est la vie, on to the next one. You can't dwell too much. I got a good feeling about this weekend's card. And just want to thank everybody for tuning in and stopping by.
Absolutely, and thank you. We're happy to have you part of the squad, man. Guru, go ahead. If you've got a show coming out, let them know where to find you one more time. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, man. I mean, you could just find my YouTube channel, MMA Prediction Guru. You could check it out. I always do, full card breakdown, some other stuff on there. So, yeah, thanks for always supporting that. Make sure to stay plugged into Odds HQ, obviously. We're probably going to be going live on Friday, like they were saying. So, yeah, it should be a good time.
All right, and the man himself, Just Bleed, buddy. Have at it. Let the people know what's up. What do you got coming, and where can they find you?
Well, first of all, man, great time. Tuesday night Contender Series, chilling with you guys. 3 dudes that I highly respect your opinions. How could you spend your Tuesday night better? You know what I'm saying? Went 2 for 1 on bets. Not bad for Contender Series. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But, yeah, man, we'll be looking to get it going on Friday. I believe it's going to be me, my man, Prediction Guru. Cody, I think you're going to be there. And then our boy DFS by the Numbers, I believe, as well. Be sure to tune in. It's going to be a great show, and we're going to break it down. We're going to figure out the spots to make this money on Saturday, hopefully. And you can find me right here on YouTube, Just Bleed MMA, Just Bleed MMA on Twitter, and Just Bleed MMA Betting on Instagram. Hit us up, man. All 3 of these guys, we all have a Twitter presence. You want to ask us a question, anything, we're pretty good at getting back to you. So Odds HQ, man, it's going down, odds.com. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. We appreciate you guys all for watching, man. Thank you guys so much for being here with us on a Tuesday and watching this Contender Series with us. We love all you guys in the chat. Thank you so much.
Absolutely nailed it, my friend. And my name is Clint. I'm with the Die Hard MMA Podcast. You can find me at Die Hard MMA Pod on Twitter. My podcast for this week is already out. We recorded it live yesterday. Every Monday, we will be here every Tuesday for the Dana White Contender Series. I have Total Madness and the post-weigh-in video coming out to you here on YouTube later in the week. Good luck on all your gamblings, my friend. Have a wonderful, blessed week, and we will see you again soon, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.